Jewish, I just don't dig on swine, that's all.
Why not?
Pigs are filthy animals. I don't eat filthy animals.
Live from the 102.5 The Bone Studios in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's Drew Garabo. Live.
All right. Here we go. Bringing it home. Right here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. My name is Drew Garabo. He is Maurice. And we are here to turn you upside down and shake your pockets a little bit. Give us that money. Oh, yeah, be subtle. That's right. Man, what a cool day so far. I have to say, to kick this off with Sending Show is such a great move. John is such a beautifully positive, warm, charismatic human being. And for him to have such awareness, compassion, and empathy with no kids of his own and no experience other than dropping off iPads with me here, Mo, it's he did a phenomenal job, and we're just going to pick up that baton and try to run with it.
And I mean this in the utmost of praise. He's a big kid himself, so he's never really got far away from understanding children, which is a testament to his spirit.
Yeah, I think all of us who work in radio experience an Arrested Development, not the television program or the rap group, but actually Arrested Development, which led us to this job. But I have to say, what a beautifully organized and executed day today is. I'm going to make you cry. And we're here to tell stories. We are here to encourage donations. The most important part is that you know how to donate, and you can text all in. It's so easy. You grab that phone of yours, all in, ALLIN, to 34984. And the money that you give goes so far, whether it's throwing pizza parties for kids, equipment that they might need, comfort for the parents. This hospital is staffed by miracle workers. Everybody from physical therapists to music therapists, to that young lady, Jante, that we had on, who shows the kids what they're going to be going through medically with dolls and whatnot.
Right.
Having had experience at this hospital for the better part of 12, 13 years when we started doing iPad deliveries with Apple a day, to see how they can provide distraction and comfort and hope and joy for these kids and families in the worst part of their life.
Right.
I won't go too deep into my personal situation yet because we're waiting on a phone call from my buddy Donnie, and I want him to tell his daughter's story because he's a friend of mine now, but we met here at this hospital probably 6 or 7 years ago when his daughter Baylor was receiving care here, and we brought her an iPad from Apple a day, and I think Donnie can really tell the story well about how it felt as a dad to watch your daughter go through what Baylor went through and to be lifted up, cared for by so many of these compassionate professionals. It tells the story way better than I could possibly tell it.
Right. But I would say this, I would add this, and in some ways it's good, in some ways maybe not so, but you've got probably more in intimate knowledge and understanding and relationship prior to this event with this hospital than probably everybody on the bone combined.
Yeah, and you know, I'm honored to do it. When I first heard rumblings that we were going to be doing a radiothon with Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, I couldn't believe it. I never even dreamt of doing something like that when we were dropping off iPads, and Roy would come meet me and walk me in, and we'd go deliver an iPad to a room, or actually in this outpatient facility, sometimes we'd have to go while a kid was getting chemotherapy and talk to them then. And that was before I went through 4 rounds of it myself. So you hear chemotherapy as this big, nebulous, scary thing. You don't know what it feels like until you actually go through it. So to try to provide comfort like that for a kid, it's my life's work. And to do something like this is far more impactful and important than a paycheck or anything we might get from radio. To be able to give back via our platform on something like this is immense.
Absolutely.
Now, young lady, come over and sit down for a spell. We're going to talk to, Dan gave me an info sheet, and I immediately lost it.
Oh, no.
So I am proud, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you to Michelle Schultz. She is a physical therapist, and she's going to talk to us about rehab services for these kids. Hi, Michelle.
That's right. My name's Michelle, and I'm one of the physical therapists here in outpatient. We do serve, of course, the inpatient hospital as well, and we're a big rehab facility. You know, when you think of rehab, it's not just physical therapy. It's not for those who have broken an ankle or something like that, which does happen, of course. But we serve, as you said, you know, the lowest of the low. This is a medical facility. We treat very high traumas, whether they be acquired traumas, you know, from an accident, through to congenital conditions, of course.
Right.
And so it's just my honor and my true pleasure to be here as a parent of of children with special medical needs as well, and as a provider to this wonderful hospital. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yeah.
Please, thank you. And with physical therapy, what I found through being hospitalized myself is you don't always want to do it, but it is so important to get up and do whatever you can, because if you just remain sedentary in that bed, not only the physical aspects of bed sores and whatnot, but the mental aspect of feeling like you're trapped there. Yeah. If you can just get up and move a little bit, and I'm sure you have all kinds of fun little contraptions that the kids can play with and get a little exercise, it gets the good endorphins flowing in your body, and it puts you in the right mental state, doesn't it?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Nobody wants to sit in bed. But it's not just those kids who have had an accident. I really want you guys to think about those folks who are just bound to the wheelchair because of the situation that they're in. And they can't just get up and go and move. And so we have to really find a way to modify, adapt, to still provide them, exercise and ability and access.
Yeah.
And that's without the support of our community. We can't do that job.
Right.
So, we have programs here, of course, to support adaptive sports. A lot of, folks at American Academy of Pediatrics is going to tell you, yes, we recommend 60 minutes of exercise every day of the week.
Sure.
Right? And we want to incorporate strengthening and bone strengthening and flexibility. How are you going to do that with someone in a wheelchair or in a gait trainer? It's very different.
It is.
But you know what? They have the right and the human right to be able to do that. And that's our job here.
Yeah, that is a beautiful thing. Text all into 34984 if you'd like to make a donation, or you can call the International Diamond Center phone line, 800-270-8642. And when you make a donation, this is exactly what your donation is going to. Tell us about some of the things that you have here that cost actual money that people can help defray the cost with by their donation.
Right. Our facilities have to be packed with equipment, right? That's how we are able to provide quality, meaningful care to these kids.
Yep.
And so we have types of balance boards, we have hurdles, we have balance beams. I also brought this suit, and why this is so important is because this was actually something that was given to us by the community. So through the foundation, we were able to purchase these things.
Oh.
And so we offer intensive therapy for children. We sweet chair children 3 hours a day for 5 days a week for 3 weeks. And insurance doesn't love that, right?
No.
That's not something that they really want to pay for, although that's really what they need,
of
right?
Course.
And we never want to turn somebody away, right? And so we're here to provide quality care, and without the support, again, from our community, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And so this suit right here is something called a TheraSuit, and we have several sizes. I brought kind of one size that maybe would fit myself or one of you guys, but you're a little
Well, it has no sleeves on it, so Mo would love it. Immediately, that's what I was drawn to, is that the fact that there are no sleeves would allow him to show off those guns.
I was never going to bring it up, but since he did.
You don't have to.
You guys are a little bigger than our general population.
Thank you.
So
It's the nicest thing anyone said to me all week.
So basically what it does is it provides resistance. So we would put it on as a t-shirt, put it on as a pair of shorts, and then these bungee cords right here, we can put them in different areas, and they can help facilitate movements that we want. They can help inhibit movements that we don't want. So if they have a real bad scoliosis or the rotation of the body that's not allowing them to move easily, we can pull them into the correct posture and hope that their body relearns that.
Oh, great.
This right here is something that was really supported by the community and something that we offer at several sites. So it's a TheraSuit program.
How big are the smiles on the kids when they accomplish something that weeks prior, maybe months prior, they were unable to? That has got to be one of the most joyous things to witness.
Yeah. I mean, we have the best job in the world, right? We bring fun and we bring ability. So it's really the best job. And their smiles, of course, absolutely. But not just their smiles, but guess what? The parents smile.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
to see their kid, make progress and advance through physical therapy.
Yeah, it's the difference between being able to roll and help in bed to, can the child potentially walk in a gait trainer, or can they take steps independently? You have no idea what that feels like as a parent, as a provider. and just being able to help those kids and bring that ability and access to them.
Beautiful. You're doing God's work.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so
Michelle.
much, yeah.
We appreciate it. And again, your donations goes to super cool little items like that so these kids can get some exercise. You know, when you move your body, you're feeling better about yourself and you're feeling better about your surroundings. And to be able to provide comfort for someone, parents and kids who didn't plan on this, who wound up here because of some condition or something that happened to them, you're doing incredible work. So thank you,
much,
Michelle.
guys.
We need more TheraSuits.
Yeah, really. Right. I mean, if your donations, we'll provide more TheraSuits so that more kids can wear those and really get those endorphins going.
Yeah,
So thank
absolutely.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate
You're
your time.
awesome.
Show.
Text all in to 34984 or call the International Diamond Center phone line at 800-270-8642. And we'd love to, we'd love it if you could just honor us by giving $5, by giving $10, by giving $20. Anything you can give. Don't think that it's too small because we know times are tough. And really, any donation you can make is awesome.
And the thing is, you think about $5 and you go, oh, what is that going to matter? $5 on top of $5
Yep.
on top of, and you keep going and you keep going, and then all of a sudden, it is a very sizable amount that would not have been if it didn't start with that first $5.
You're absolutely right. So don't get into the mentality of, oh, well, I could give $5, but that's not going to mean anything.
Right.
It will absolutely mean things. If 20 people give $5, then all of a sudden, if my math is correct, that's $100.
Yes, it is.
20 times 5, 2 times 5, and then add the 0. So don't think that your donation is too small. Please just text all in to 34984. Now we were going to talk to Lauren. Hi, Lauren. You are in the field of respiratory therapy, which is very near and dear to my heart because my girlfriend Sarah is a respiratory therapist and has for years, something she's very passionate about. Breathing is definitely something we take for granted.
Yes,
and
it's not optional.
you hold that right up
Put
to
that
your
right up there. There you
Thank
go.
you so
Yeah.
much. The ability to breathe is something we take for granted because we don't think about it.
You wake up doing it.
Absolutely.
We do.
Yeah.
But kids who have breathing disorders, kids who are finding it hard to breathe because they have to be intubated, etc. That's where you come in and make life easier for
Yep,
them, right?
that's what we do. And we can, at this hospital, care for babies who are as little as less than a pound all the way up to adult-sized football players. And so our scope of practice is very large here, and it keeps it interesting. For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, I bet. Every day you don't know what you're going to be dealing with. And, man, the process, if you watch The Pit, the process of intubation, I will say it's very interesting watching it with my girlfriend, and it's very similar to what it must be like watching it with you because they seem to nail everything just down. Like you don't want to intubate. I learned that from watching the show. Like once things have to be intubated, they are not good, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
and I know it obviously from seeing the shows and so forth. It's the process of putting a tube down the throat so that the tube can breathe for you hooked to a machine.
Correct.
That's
it
intubation.
goes down into the airway, and then we have all the tools, different ventilators that we can put patients on to help them breathe, because breathing is not optional, like
Yeah,
you said.
it's
So
not.
Right,
we need to do
right.
it.
if you're not breathing, nothing else wants to work
You're
either. So,
absolutely correct.
yeah.
How did you get into this field, Lauren?
Through personal experience, actually, from when I was younger. I had grandparents in the hospital, and actually a grandfather who ended up with a trach on a vent, and I thought I wanted to go to nursing school. And then when I saw the respiratory therapists and what they could do, that really drove me to go. So I got my degree, and I went, and I absolutely love it. I just love being able to go to all areas of the hospital, which keeps every day different. You learn something new every day.
Can I ask her a follow-up question?
Please
on
do,
that?
Maurice.
Why did you decide to go towards children as opposed to adults? What was the impetus for that decision? Because obviously you could have chosen to work with adults primarily,
Absolutely.
correct?
I think in school we were able to go into all different areas, and as soon as I walked into the NICU with the little tiny babies, I knew that was exactly where I wanted to be. And then you learn that the kids just come to work. Well, they don't come to work. We come to work, but
Right.
they just fight so hard, and they didn't do anything to get here. They didn't go and smoke cigarettes or do anything. Like,
Hopefully.
they're just here, and they're like, come on.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
the sickest kid, we could be walking them around the unit intubated. And
Right.
I think everybody comes to work and just fights for them harder. And it just makes every day enjoyable.
I've heard that before, where people that go into physicians, therapists, et cetera, that go into the field for children specifically, one of the primary reasons is that what you said, where they really didn't contribute to the situation that they are in, so you feel more rewarding helping them.
Absolutely. And it's
Not
just
like an
amazing.
adult who chooses to smoke cigarettes.
Exactly, and then-
Hypothetically, someone who we all might know and love who might take up a habit that is causing emphysema and COPD.
Science is still out.
Respiratory therapists are also smoking cessation counselors, so you can,
He's not interested. Some people want to quit smoking. He's the other end of the
Let's
spectrum.
wrap this interview up, Drew.
In fact, she's your nemesis, Maurice.
Yes, exactly.
You're treating her nicely, but she's actually the Lex Luthor to your
You are
Superman.
absolutely right.
Exactly.
So you felt a calling for this when you were very young, and that is a common thread to so many people here at Johns Hopkins. Is that at a very young age something happened to draw them to this field, and I think at the end of the day you probably feel immensely gratified to be able to do what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, this hospital and the culture that it's created for the employees is amazing. I love coming to work every day because they care. Truly, they're compassionate about safe care. And the kids are here. We get to play. I mean, hang out with the therapy dogs. And so it's a really great place to work as well.
And those ventilators, from what I know from Sarah working, those aren't cheap. And sometimes the kids have to be discharged with one. And that's where this money comes in as well, because you get discharged with a ventilator. That thing needs to be repaired all the time,
Right.
and it
And
needs
not
monitoring.
Even before they get discharged, we do simulation training with the families, and it takes a lot of resources. Like our simulation center, we take parents over there. They get to practice emergency situations, and a lot of them come out of it feeling like they are glad that they practice, because we say a mistake happens in simulation, it won't happen at home. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
also another aspect of that.
And that's where your donations come in. Go text ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984, or call the International Diamond Center phone line, 800-270-8642. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Yes,
You're doing
absolutely.
amazing
Having
work.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing your story. Really appreciate it. Keep up the great work,
Thank
will
you.
you.
Thank you. Lauren, everybody. It's so weird not taking breaks because like we
I
say goodbye
know.
to a guest and we're
We're
like
get out of it.
and we're still here. Okay. And we'll be taking no breaks this afternoon. If we do need to take a moment to take a tinkle or something like that, we can play some interviews and whatnot. But my goal is to keep this going for about 3 hours until 7 o'clock without taking a single break. But you never know. We might need one or two. So while we're waiting for my buddy Donnie to call, I do kind of want to share a little bit about why a children's hospital means so much to me. I put a post on social media about it today, and I don't know what percentage of your listeners will ever follow you. I did not prioritize being a dad for a very long time. And then it's so weird because the very moment that Angie and I are in our relationship, we're like, what do you think about having a kid? Yeah, I think...
What's the age here? Where are you?
I was 34. And
You waited a little bit.
Oh yeah. Got almost all selfishness out of my
Sowed
system.
some oats.
Sowed plenty of oats, thank you. And then went from the moment we were like, yeah, that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Within a day or two, she was pregnant.
Wow.
I mean,
Whoa.
it was crazy.
Oh, wow.
It was insane. I'll never forget the moment of conception. She was like,
What?
the moment of conception. She was like, if you were thinking about it, now is a pretty good time. And I was like, oh, all right. And then the next thing you know, she's pregnant. I mean, it was so destined. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then the birth was rough on her, as you know, John. The childbirth, they should have done what's called an episiotomy, where they snip down
Right,
there to
right.
make it. They did not do one, and she suffered some third-degree tearing.
Oh.
And
Did they not do one because you were against it?
I gave the doctor an extra $50 to stitch that thing up. But no, I don't know why he decided not to do it. We had a Jamaican obstetrician, Dr. Perry, and he was just like, no worries, man, she'll be fine. and that no worries attitude is good when you're in the islands, not so good in the delivery room. And so, that was pretty traumatic. She was in the hospital for a couple of days.
Oh.
But then you get home and you think, okay, the rest of our life, this kid's never going to have to go to the hospital again. We're good.
You are set now to
Yep.
just watch this child grow and grow and grow and prosper.
Just like 99.9% of the parents who gave birth and ended up here. And then at about 7 months old, the New England Patriots had just won the Super Bowl against the Carolina Panthers, Jake Delhomme versus Tom Brady. Had a little party at the house. Xander was snotty, like sniffling all over the place. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be the concerned dad and take him to the pediatrician. Probably nothing, but whatever. Go to the pediatrician. Dr. Madden was like, "No, it's just a cold, but while he's here, let me just poke around a little bit." Poked on his belly, and he was like, "It feels a little bit hard to me. I don't love that. Let me do some X-rays." Did some X-rays. He's like, "I don't see anything, but I just don't feel great about that. Let's go ahead and send you to the Children's Hospital in Orlando." So I was like, "Okay, all right, everything's going to be fine." Angie was at work. I worked nights, and I'm just like driving to the radiology department, just like, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I'm holding him in my arms. He's sick, so he's crying. We're waiting. It's like 2 hours to get seen. They finally scan him in a radiology department, just like they've got here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. And they took him out of the scanning machine. I'll never forget nautical themed Shamus on the wall and stuff. And I see all these doctors behind the glass, and I was like, a lot of doctors seem to be assembling around these scan results. Ugh. And this doctor came up to me and she said, "Mr. Garabo, I just have to tell you, there's a mass enveloping one of your son's kidneys. It's a grapefruit-sized tumor. We're pretty sure it's a Wilms tumor. That would be cancerous. With aggressive chemotherapy, he should go on to live a robust, healthy." And like, that's when I just like, oh my God, like so many of these parents here, right? You just don't expect something like that.
And it's got to just be a word jumble. You're trying to process where you're like, what, huh? Who,
how could this be happening?
Right,
I was watching the Patriots win the Super Bowl last night, just like all these parents were doing stuff in this hospital. And they admitted him. Surgeon came up to me, Ross Morgan, MD, and he said, "I have to talk to you, Mr. Garabo. I don't want to give you false hope, but I'm not so convinced that this is a Wilms tumor. After we operate, we're gonna be able to do a biopsy, but don't go down that dark path just yet."
Nice.
Cool. All right. Admitted us into the Children's Hospital, where I experienced all these things that we've been telling you about today, with the distraction and the food and whatnot, all these important things. Long story short, too late. They did the biopsy after they pulled out that disgusting tumor that you can see on my social media today.
It's been censored.
Thank you. Yes, you'll have to click on a sensitive content warning, because it is a grapefruit-sized tumor coming out of a little baby belly, isn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't think that could be in a baby.
Same.
I mean, it looks like a mini watermelon.
Dude, and imagine it coming out of your baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they showed us a picture afterwards, and I was like, you took that out of my kidney, still alive?
Wow.
And so to experience the elite level of compassion that these brave heroes display every day filled me with a sense of gratitude. And to be able to come full circle like this, I was just texting with my son before the show about breakfast tomorrow and about normal dad things. Most of these kids who come in here will grow up to live normal lives. Some won't, some don't make it, most do. But the important part is to be able to provide comfort for them while they're here. And that's exactly what we are championing today. And through this radiothon, I hope to be able to provide moments like we got when we were in the hospital with a favorable diagnosis for so many other families.
Because going back, they took it out, and when they did the research, it was not a Wilms tumor.
No, it was not. It was just a benign.
It was just a mass?
Just a benign mass. That covered one of his kidneys. So they took his kidney out. They took the tumor out. You can live with one kidney.
Right.
And he was fine. He had to go every year to get blood work, and it turned out to be just fine.
And never explained to you how it happened in the first place?
No,
you
they don't know.
Care? You just were glad it was out?
Yeah, no, they don't know. It's a
okay.
mystery. I was just happy to have it out. And I remember that phone call that came in where they were like, "We have the results. It's benign." And I had to think to myself, which one's good and which one's bad? Malignant is bad, benign is good, right? Because benign doesn't sound that great. And it changed my life forever. It made me a better dad. It made me a better person. And that's why it is such a blessing and an honor to sit here with a healthy young man at 22, about to turn 23, and to be able to champion this All In for All Children initiative. You know, I hope that nobody listening ever has to go through that. But if you do, please know that right here in our own backyard in St. Petersburg, we have a beautiful facility like Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.
One of the premier children's hospitals in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Definitely in Florida, but across the nation. I think it's very, very coveted.
You ever do anything like this before in your radio career, John?
No, nothing like this. I mean, I've done, stuff the trucks and things like that back in the John Boy days, but nothing of this scope and nothing for a cause such as this. So it really, like, when I walked in today, I was just blown away. And I mean, we all get together for different things along the line, but you can just tell this one's got a little extra juice behind it from the community, from the people giving already, and really from everybody in the building and beyond.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this or not, John, but you and I did a delivery with Seth and Phoebe, and it was a kid who was like not a great prognosis. Yeah. And we spent a lot of time with this kid. I think we all had to scrub like radioactive like stuff. And the four of us walked out of that hotel room. We all looked at each other, and all four of us burst into tears. Like, it was one of the most impactful moments, because there's this innocent little life that didn't ask for any of this, that was just born into this world with a condition trying to rob him of his spirit. And to see the smiles that we got from bringing that iPad, to see the smiles and the care that these nurses have, it changed us as people, and filled us with this immense sense of purpose.
Yeah, and it's so crazy, because I think when a child's that young, they don't know they're suffering and they're going through it, but they don't know anything else. They don't have anything to compare it to. And on the other side of that, you have the parents. And I remember just as equally being moved by the parents and just kind of knowing that they were living in that hospital. And I think the grandma was there, like the whole family was there, and it just presented the magnitude of how something like this affects a family. And today, it can't be said enough. It's about the patient, obviously, first and foremost, but they approach it more for the family. Like, they are here for everybody, and the parents and the siblings and everybody getting through it is just as important to them as the care itself. So it's been such an experience to fully grasp what's going on here.
Yeah, and when we share on social media this initiative that we're doing, you hear from so many parents who are like, "Oh, my kid still goes there. Oh, my kid was in there as an infant," and it's so great to have this facility. It sucks that it's needed. But man, are we ever lucky to have this place here?
And that's a good point, an interesting point, that some children, in the case of Xander, you get discharged, and then there's a doctor's visit here, a doctor's visit there. Some children, this is going to be a part of their childhood.
Yeah. And to watch them
for a very long time.
Oh yeah, to watch them go through chemotherapy. That even before I had my own struggles. That sticks with you but you see the spirit inside of them of just wanting to have fun and wanting to live. And that's why that young lady, Jante, that was on with us earlier, to have someone in that position, imagine 50 years ago when that wasn't a thing, and a kid would be diagnosed with some life-threatening condition, and a white coat doctor would walk in with a very matter-of-fact demeanor and just tell the parents and then turn around and walk out, hey, deal with that. We've come so far in the world of healthcare, and I know the healthcare industry at large has its issues, certainly, but it's the people on the ground level, these brave soldiers who come into work every day, the respiratory therapists, the physical therapists, the music therapists, etc. They're the ones you're helping out by making your donation. You are making life easier for people in a dire situation. I think that is what we are all here to do as human beings, not as radio broadcasters or listeners, but as human beings. And if you can give $5, if you can give $20 to make someone else's life easier, what better could you spend your money on? Text all in to 34984 or call the International Diamond Center phone line at 800-270-8642. We've already gotten unbelievable generous donations from Fran Hosh Law Group and Achieva Credit Union, two of my nearest and dearest sponsors. Fran's been with us since 2012 when I started this show, and to see her practice grow and her advocacy grow, especially in the world of animals, and to have a partner like Achieva to write us a blank check for any initiative we do, it's incredible, man.
To build upon 2 points that you were just kind of touching on, we had Levi on with us earlier, who when you talk about it being almost a lifelong thing or not just an in and out thing, he was born with a tumor on his heart. He had to have heart surgery when he was an infant, and that was followed by a cancer diagnosis, which was then has been followed by lung and GI issues. And I say all of that not to just pile on the story, but you see this kid today. he would, if he was in this room right now, all eyes would be on him.
Right.
He is a beam of sunshine and is having the greatest time and brightening everybody's day along the way. And there's something to that. And to hear his parents talk about what this place has done for them, and to hear him be excited to come here. Like, that was, out of all the things I've heard today, to hear a 9-year-old talking about how excited he was to come here every single time. They took him, I'm not sure if you heard the story. So they have the helicopter, they have the helipad, and he showed interest in it. They took him up to the helicopter. He met the captain. They gave him his own jumpsuit, which he wears every single day now.
Nice,
and it's just those little things that we might not think of that they do to go above and beyond. Oh, these are my old friends. We just bonded. We just bonded.
Oh, you know these guys?
We just bonded out in the in the hallway.
Oh man, well, good.
Yeah.
Any friend of John's is certainly a friend of ours.
This is Natalie and Boomer. Oh, is Boomer getting up on the chair?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, look at that, Boomer, a beautiful, beautiful lady. And Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Yeah.
Hi, Boomer.
Yeah.
Hey, Boom. Hey, Natalie. How's everybody doing? How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Good. Thank you very much for being here. Again, this is the Radiothon All In for All Children's. We are raising money for the foundation for Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, and we like to spotlight different parts of the hospital, different elements that could make the kids and the families' lives a little bit better, and I imagine Boomer plays a huge part in that.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's an understatement.
He loves it, right?
Oh, she's
She's a she?
I did the
I
same
don't
thing.
think
Oh,
Yeah.
Boomer
Boomer.
seems like it would be
I
such
know.
a dude's name.
I did the same
Sorry,
thing.
young lady.
You must just be doing that all day.
Yeah.
Boomer is a she.
I'm so sorry.
Golden Retriever? Did I get that right?
No, it's a lab.
Lab. Okay.
Lab golden mix.
Tell
we haven't
it-
come
yeah.
up with the fun name for her yet, but yeah.
Tell us about the services that you and Boomer provide here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.
Yeah, so I'm a child life specialist, and I'm able to utilize Boomer as my facility dog. I'm able to help support kids in their procedures, and I'm able to help get them through, physical therapy and occupational therapy sessions. And Boomer's just an amazing tool that I can utilize to connect and bridge with kids that are different than some things, like iPads and toys.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
not every kid gravitates to electronics. Not every kid has that kind of attention span, but
No.
who doesn't love a dog?
Yeah, there's just something about this living presence that
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
in that you can't beat.
And what is it about? How do they find a Boomer? Like not every dog is programmed for that, right? Like not every dog has that instinct to be a caretaker, right?
Right, yeah. No, she was actually raised from when she was a puppy to be a service dog. And so she passed the service dog test, but they figured that she's really good with kids and babies. Yeah, she's smiling here. And so that she was able to kind of learn and train how to be for here in the hospital.
Oh, I love it. And you have to just light up when you see the type of enjoyment and comfort. Like, nobody... A lot of people work for a paycheck. You know what I mean? We all have to feed our family, sure. But the benefits that you get from the smiles and the laughs and the enjoyment, that's got to pay in dividends that we couldn't even imagine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I go home and I'm like, I'm doing this. This is my
Yeah.
job.
Right.
Yeah, the things that they say that you made my hospitalization, like you made me smile, you made my kids smile for the first time. It warms your heart.
You shared a story, and I hope it's okay that I bring it up.
Yeah.
That recently a patient that had been nonverbal spoke with Boomer being right by their side.
Yeah, they had a traumatic incident and they weren't willing to talk, but we brought Boomer in the room and suddenly they recounted everything and they talked and they wanted to know more about Boomer. And yeah, it was just so cool to see him talking.
Oh my gosh, those aha moments must
know.
happen like once every so often, and
Yes.
you just go, "I was destined to be here. This is what I'm supposed to
This
be doing."
is it. Yeah, this is why we have a facility dog here.
How much training does a dog have to go through to be where they're ready to be that facility dog?
She actually did 2 years.
Oh, is that intense?
Yeah, it was very intense. Yeah, she went through an intensive 6-month process, and she got all these specialty trainings. Now she knows 50 different tricks and skills.
Wow.
Oh, and isn't it awesome that Boomer has no problem wearing a shirt with sleeves?
Here we go. Here we go.
Whereas Maurice felt the need to cut his off. Good job, Boomer. Way to be a professional today. Thank you for being a team player, Boomer, and not making anyone else feel awkward about their lack of biceps. Really,
I didn't
really
notice that.
Thank you.
Come on.
He wears it well. You had touched on something that I found very, very interesting, because obviously a big part of what we're talking about today is what these patients and these families go through emotionally. And you think of somebody like Boomer with people at moments that are very, very tough, and you had mentioned that Boomer feels that in very heavy, serious situations. Like, she carries that with her. Can you talk a little bit about that and how she kind of responds in those moments? And does it take a little bit for her to kind of reset after something like that?
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, she's just so responsive. You can see her immediately go, oh, okay, this person's crying. This person needs an extra little hand, and she comes and rests her head on you. It's just amazing to see her absorbing all those. After like those kind of interactions, we like to take her back to give her a little bit of rest.
Sure.
But honestly, her recharge and rebound is really quick. Yeah,
So
she likes
beautiful.
working. She runs into work every day.
Speaking of rebound, I think you said that Boomer can play basketball. Is that
She
true?
can
What?
play basketball.
Come on now.
Oh,
Air
I could
Bud.
school you.
Air Bud Light over
I
here.
could school you. I could own you
yeah.
from the outside. You don't want any piece of this, Boomer. I'm talking trash to a service dog. There's something
She
wrong
doesn't
with
like
my
that
head.
energy.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's-
I was bad energy.
she's
I
about
was
to
kidding.
leave.
My bad. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for doing what you do. What a beautiful, beautiful thing that you get to do every day. You're changing lives and making them better, and that's what we're all here to do. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you, Boomer. Appreciate
Boomer,
you.
you're a legend.
You're
Keep it going.
Cut those sleeves off, Boomer.
Yeah, Boomer, let him breathe.
Don't do it.
Let those arms breathe.
Don't do
Boomer.
it. Don't do it, Boomer.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much.
the best. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting transition. We'll be talking right now to Gil, who is the drummer and co-vocalist from the rock and roll band Triumph. They will be kicking off their tour with a charity show Friday, April 10th at the Hard Rock Live in Orlando, and then ripping through town right here in Tampa at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater, Florida State Fairgrounds, May 24th. Gil, thanks for hanging in there. We appreciate you joining us, bud.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure, man. Thank
good
you so
phone
much.
connection.
Yeah, great phone connection. Always love that. Triumph is, and I hope you don't resist this or reject this term, but is the term prog rock, is that insulting to rockers of your genre, or is that something you embrace, Gil?
No, it's really part of what we are. I think we were always people had a hard time, really defining, were we heavy metal, were we hard rock, were we prog rock, were we some combination. I think what it comes down to is, Mike and I were kind of blues men, and Rick was really from that progressive and classical side. So the mix of the musicians caused that sort of, I guess, that mixed pedigree, and that's what really caused it.
I got you. And this is if I'm not mistaken, your first tour in 30 years. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when we stopped touring in '89, we went out. We did one more tour without Rick. We did it with Phil X before he went with John Bon Jovi, and that was our final tour playing. What we did do was we got together in 2008 after we did a couple of Hall of Fame inductions, and we wanted to show our families, the real Triumph. So we did two big festivals. We did one in Europe, and then we did one just north of Dallas. But that was in 2008. The next time we teed it up was 2019 as part of the documentary that was filmed on us. We played 3 songs in the documentary. And but this was a fluke. This started with the hockey playoffs and, the Panthers and the Oilers series up here in Canada. And the National Hockey League, they just started playing our songs in all the playoff games. A lot of the positive lyrics that were, to drive the teams, I guess I would say. And then they asked us to come and play in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that was what, prompted us to get together and go out and play. It's kind of, again, it was kind of like a fun thing. We're going to do it with our family. Still not thinking we're going to do a tour because we said no so many times. But at the end of that, between Live Nation and our families and our manager and everyone just says, you got to do it. So we finally caved. And, I'm glad we did because now we've been practicing, getting back into, what was and what could be in the future. And it's just been it's been really a barrel of laughs and a lot of fun doing it.
How do you feel about Florida now being the home of hockey? We're here in Tampa Bay where the Lightning are easily the best team in the NHL. Do you hold any ill will towards the state of Florida for being the home of the most elite hockey on planet Earth?
No, not at all. I wanted to play in the NHL when I was a kid. That's everyone up here in Canada is like that. I don't think there was one kid I was in elementary school with that didn't want to be in the NHL, and none of us were good enough. And if I'd really stuck at it, I might have got to drive a Zamboni or something.
I think you're doing just
fine. The drums really took over, and I guess thank God they did, because that was something I was a bit better at, and here we are today. But no, I'm glad the NHL is spread. I mean, I remember the 6-team league, how it all started, but I think it's great that it's that it's bigger than it was. Don't forget, we had New York and Chicago and Boston in the first 6. So.
Oh, yeah. We're speaking with Gil Moore. He is the drummer and co-vocalist from Triumph. They will be playing the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater on May 24th. Maurice?
When you talk about being away for about 30 years from it and having the occasional show here or there, now you're going to be doing a full-fledged tour. Aside from, obviously, the band practice and rehearsal, what do you do for the physicality of touring on that level when you haven't done it for so long? I mean, we're talking gym regime, diet changes. What are you guys having to do yourselves to get fit for that kind of tour?
Well, it is a lot of work because it's an athletic endeavor, and we always approached everything in Triumph kind of like a team sport, Rick and I were both athletes when we went into this, and so we're back in the gym and hitting the gym hard. But I'll say the tip that I got, when we started this, Larry Gowan is a very good friend of mine, from Styx. And I reached out to Larry and I said, hey, give me some tips, brother. What should I do?
Wow.
And he says, I'm going to give you the first 3 tips. And he says, 1, sing every day and play your drums every day. Tip number 2, same as tip number 1. Tip number 3, same as tip number 2 and tip number 1. So I took it seriously. Like, I have a big gym in my house. And so I said to my wife, I'm bringing home the big double drums and setting them up down there in the gym, and they become part of the gym equipment.
Wow,
and I have a little PA system there. So I've got a rehearsal set up here at Metalworks Studios as well. So I got no excuse. And I joined a private gym on top of all of that.
Man.
So I got no excuse. I'm surrounded by ways to practice. So, and I'm just having a blast kind of rediscovering the instrument and trying to approach it almost like a kid, learning again, try to be inquisitive, try to go in different directions with the rhythms and stuff, and doing a bit of the same thing with the vocals. I'm trying to, explore ways to sing a little differently here and there, and maybe get some nuance that I didn't have before, or a little bit of insight that I didn't have before. So it's been a really nice kind of learning experience, as well as the whole physical workout.
You sound like you really have your stuff together, so probably a warning about the fact that you're not as young as you used to be. So if you're tempted on the road by those demons that seem to creep into just about every rock star, you think you're 30, but you're actually 50 or 60. Doesn't sound like we need to warn you about that, Gil.
I can tell you, Drew, there's no party bus on this tour.
There is a party bus. It just has a bunch of snacks in it and recumbent beds and whatnot. Dude, you're the man. Thank you so much for joining us. That gig that you're doing for Make-A-Wish out at the Hard Rock sounds so cool. It's a 23rd annual Celebration Exotic Car Festival, Bugattis, McLarens, etc. Didn't you take any of those for a spin, Gil?
Well, you know what? You mentioned Make-A-Wish, and I got to say, they are one great organization, and we couldn't be prouder than trying to help them raise money and deliver some of those wishes to some kids that really need it. The car show, I know they run the whole week, is going to be fantastic, and we're doing both the 2 Hard Rocks, Orlando and down in Hollywood, with Make-A-Wish, and we just hope that we can help them raise a bunch of money and raise awareness, and fantastic organization.
And that's great that you guys are doing this, because you have one of the all-time best rock iconic anthems in Fight the Good Fight to be a part of something like what you're doing and what we're actually doing here at Johns Hopkins right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people relate to us over some of the positive lyrics, and it took years for that to develop, because when we were really young and we were writing the songs and you're getting out there, I was asked earlier today, like, are the songs different for you? And I went, yeah, I never listened to the lyrics when we did them. For some reason, you're the drums. Yeah, it's still all about the drums. But I do listen to the lyrics more, because some of them the fans have told us what those lyrics mean, and then I listen to them and I go, I think you've got a point, So I'm feeling good about some of those messages, the hold on to your dream side of triumph.
Sure.
We weren't so much about the Dungeons and the Dragons. We were the other side.
Destroying the prog rock nerd stereotype, which I love. Gil, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for what you do for the kids, man. And we can't wait to see you guys when you get into town to the Mid-Florida Credit Amphitheater in May. Continue good health and success. You sound awesome. Can't wait to see you guys live, my man.
Thanks so much, Drew. I hope you can visit us when we're down there. Be nice to see you.
Certainly will. It'll be great to see you, too. Have yourself a great day, and thanks a lot, bud.
All the best.
You, too. Thank you. Thank you. What a cool dude.
Yeah.
Cool dude, cool phone connection, organization, like a true Canadian. Organization.
Yeah,
And
thanks to Billy.
It sounded vibrant, too. I mean, they have to be in their 70s. Yeah. He's,
I was trying, I wanted to fact check myself, and I couldn't figure it out, but I found a list that said that Sebastian Bach toured with them for a minute.
Really?
Yeah. It may have been just a couple one-off shows,
Yes,
but that's an interesting addition, I'm sure, to have to deal with.
Yeah. What was everybody so happy about? What was Chase trying to show me on his phone?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
All right. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he was ecstatic.
He held up his phone and he had like 10 updates on there, and I was wondering which one was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know.
a bunch of Triumph fans.
I'm not sure. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to donate, all in the word ALLIN to 34984, or you can call the International Diamond Center hotline 800-270-8642. He's John Senning. There's Maurice. My name is Drew Garabo, and we are at the All In for All Children's Radiothon. What a day. So far, we're close to $100,000, I believe. I saw that big thermometer, and we're coming up on a matching hour.
Oh, nice. That is big. That is a great time to donate.
It certainly is.
We've been preaching all day that no amount is too small, and you get into that matching hour, and it couldn't be any more true.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about a big one, wait about 13 minutes or so, and then make your donation so that we can match it. Your $1,000 donation becomes $2,500 becomes $5,000, or your $25 donation becomes $50. There is no donation too small, literally no donation too small. Anything you do greatly helps. Boy, look at the amount of people that have disappeared and the energy level in the room.
It comes in waves. It always comes in waves.
It does. Yeah. It does. And right now, thankfully, it was chaotic here earlier.
No, it really was. Man, when I got here and when I sat down, I said it on the air, but I hadn't really experienced nerves at that point. The other problem was there was a bunch of people here, but it was still very quiet.
Yeah.
And knowing what you know about me, quiet is not my thing. So I said, everyone's going to turn around and go, what the hell is happening in that corner over there?
I felt like I had let you down by not being here right at noon, because when you took the airwaves, and I would never tell you this while you were on the air, but there was some serious like glitching out.
It was bad. And not to mention, we started the program with the president, the highest ranking officials of the
microphone.
And the mic. I mean, it was, as far as just powering through. We didn't have any options really.
But, and I know you well enough to know that I wanted to be there so bad to be like,
everything's okay,
everything's fine, you're going to be good.
I was dying. I was dying inside, but we powered through and. 24 hours commercial free. Some things will happen, I imagine.
They will.
That's what they say.
That microphone situation was something else, because Dylan, during the break between your show and ours, he goes to test the microphone, and he's like, "But I can hear myself." I'm like, "Yeah,
no. We can hear you. We can hear you too.
We can hear you too. It's just they can't hear you back on the board." And he gave us that dad look of like, "This is somehow your fault." And I'm like, "What?" But then
And then right before we came back in the air, he actually took one of the earphone parts and rubbed your nose in it. And said, "You've been a bad boy."
He did, and I deserved it. I've been conditioned to take blame for it.
That's all we can do, boys. I think I'm tapping out.
You're the man.
Right,
you've had a long day.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna pop back on later with those guys.
Yeah, the
around
Bike
9
show.
o'clock. Yeah, so I'm gonna go rest up a little bit.
That's a public thing.
People are being invited to come down to the Moxie Hotel tonight to the rooftop, right?
No, let's get Corey Cardinal.
Corey Cardinal.
And Pick a Mic. They all work now.
Yeah.
Here's Corey Cardinal, ladies and gentlemen.
With rolled gold pretzels in his mouth.
Dude, I've just been snacking all day.
Hell yeah, you deserve it.
When you work out that hard, you can.
Yeah, it does pay off. No, so it's up at the rooftop. I mean, we can be up there hanging out, doing whatever, but we're going to be downstairs in the main bar area. So
okay, so and we are inviting people to come out and they can hang out, and the bar will be open. You can have a drink.
Bar will be open. There's going to be food. There's going to be whatever. Everybody come and hang out. Yeah, it'll be us and a couple other radio stations hanging out, Vibe and Magic as well. So
Very cool.
Yeah, we'll be there. Mike O and myself will be doing 7 to 10. Depending on how it goes, we might go to midnight.
I think you guys should.
You're going to go to midnight.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. You guys go till midnight, and I'll do midnight to 4 a.m.
I tell you what, him and I originally thought we were going to do overnight. Like, we thought
just keep it going.
We thought you were off at 7. We were going to go 7 until Mike got on at 6.
Oh, wow.
And that's what we had played. Even though we had been here since 9, like, that was the original
Well, what
plan
happened to change that, Corey Cardinal?
We don't have board ops. Although Isaiah probably would stay, we need a board op
to be there.
Yeah.
Do it for the kids. We need a board op for the kids.
Yeah, let's see if we can solicit for a community volunteer.
I'm sure somebody's here.
Are you really going to do midnight to 4?
No. Don't be ridiculous.
11:45 is going to turn his phone off.
You know what?
It's a
Drew?
fun thing to say.
You know what, Drew? I'm going to go to the station and board op for you.
I did not expect someone to call my bluff.
Midnight to 4 board op. Yeah, right here.
I did have that thought at first. I texted John Brennan, and I was like, hey, what are we doing in the overnight hours? Thinking to myself, yeah, that'd be cool to like hang out at the Moxie for a while and then go on in the overnight.
Yeah.
And I was like, you idiot, you've got a radio show to do tomorrow afternoon, and you've been here no commercials for 4 hours, and what, you're going to do midnight to 4 a.m. talking by yourself with no phone calls? I don't think so. So I'm sure you guys have it on lock. Yeah. I strongly encourage you and Mike O to do as much radio as you want tonight. I
hope we will.
Good. All right, well, this is goodbye temporarily.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
I love you guys. Thank you for
love you
everything.
back. You did a great job today.
Thank you
Made
so
me real
much.
proud.
Thank you.
Could not have picked a better guy to start this whole thing off. I think kicking it off at noon with that guy right there is the right move. He sets the tone for us of the day, and super proud of you.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot, and it's been very, very overwhelming in some ways, but in the best way possible.
With the way he's sitting right now, the kid is hulking up. Look at
he's
look at the
huge.
shoulders.
Of course.
I mean, whoa.
Have you touched him? My God, he's a rock over there.
I mean, nicely done.
It's firm.
But you can still smell from where Pat Maroon crapped his pants. You could literally hear it when he sat down. Maroon's like, oh, so we're taking this thing seriously, huh?
He did not.
Yeah, no.
What are you going to do? Do a sauna before the week? Yeah, I'm going to do all those things.
It was a mess. I don't know where things stand. I don't know what. I don't know. But
he was spinning. I have never, like, we saw Pat Maroon on the ice for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was unflappable. He would fight anybody.
He could chirp. He could handle a chirp.
Anything. 5 minutes after sitting down and realizing that he was going to have to shave his beard because John's going to wax the floor with him.
Oh, no.
Maroon was spinning. He's trying to find every way to get out of it, making alternate bets, trying to extend the deadline.
Trying to tie in the charity to force my hand.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh, what if we do $1,000 donation to charity so I don't got to shave my beard?
By the way, I am getting very uncomfortable with that impersonation. He's still Pat Maroon. He's still the big rig.
You got to Apollo Creed him from Rock. Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Dude, and Sarah texts me. She's like, are you listening to this right now? I'm like, dude, how scared. John has managed to intimidate a man who beat the hell out of other large men.
I don't feel comfortable co-signing on that. The thoughts and opinions of Drew Garabo are that of Drew Garabo live and not of John Cena.
All right, get out of here.
All right, I love you guys.
Thank you. We can talk
See
more
you.
about this weight
All right,
loss
see you.
challenge. Great job, man. Super proud of you.
He's no boomer.
Dude, does he not look
He's great. This is the first time I've kind of like seen him in the light.
Put those things away.
Come on now. I'm going to have to start wearing sleeves.
And the irony is, if he were to shave his beard, like, you would see a skinny face. Like,
Sure.
I mean, I hope he's not going to have to, obviously.
Right,
he's going to kill Maroon.
Yeah.
But if he did have to, you'd see that beautiful face.
Danielle, and what's the name of the facility?
That is Elevate Gym.
Yeah, she is. I mean, they are really chiseling this dude up.
Oh, dude, she is. Danielle's jacked too. I mean, she's always been in great shape.
Yeah.
But I've known her for 15 years now, and she's making it happen. And that kid over there. I mean, I think this was always in him. But all it took was just that little nudge, and this weight loss contest, I think he's building habits right now. Like, you're going to see this dude in a year, and you'll even recognize him.
He won't go back. No. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm sorry I missed that Pat Maroon. When is how much time does Maroon have left?
I think they've got 2 weeks. I think they weigh in a week from Monday. The thing is, and where John made a mistake today, is that Pat Maroon now knows that he is in deep doo-doo, so he has the advantage of being a professional athlete, whereas in the off-season, these guys pound beers, these guys eat like crap because they know that when hockey season starts again, they can just
snap back.
Boom, they cut weight like that. So I think John might have tipped his hand today.
But he's been off the ice how long? How long has it been?
I think he's been out of the NHL for 2 years now, maybe.
Nah, that body ain't coming back.
I mean,
I don't know. It could. I have no idea.
When you get that training mode in you, I think Pat now knows what he's in for. Because, I mean, look at Sonny's waist from the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the first time because, we do the crossover.
Yeah.
And he's behind the board and, the studio's dark. We're in the light. He's got a light-colored shirt on. The first time I'm looking, and I'm like, this dude has made some very quantifiable changes to his physique.
No question he has, and we're super proud of him. Once again, if you'd like to donate, we are all in for All Children's. It is all in, ALLIN, to 34984. We are about 5 minutes away from another matching hour, which means that your donation that you make will be matched 100%. Your $20 donation becomes a $40 donation. By the way, a big shout out to Ricky in the parking garage here. I think when you have a facility that requires a guard at a gate, that is your first touch point. And so many organizations overlook the importance of a friendly face greeting you as you pull in. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100.
I hate to call this person out, but when I go to Caliente, which we did last night, by the way, congratulations to Dakota who won Caliente's Got Talent.
You predicted what you predicted.
I did. The guard, she's just a grouch. There's just no other way to say that. I don't know what she's been through in her life, so I'm not judging her as a person, but her demeanor is surly at best, right?
Right.
And when that's your first touch point, you're like, that's what the Lightning gets so right, because they go through customer service training so that every usher, every greeter, every ticket person, every salesperson, they know they could be seeing someone for their first time there.
Yes, right.
I've been to this hospital 30 times making various deliveries and seeing people in the hospital and whatnot. It's not new to me, but when you roll up and you go, hey, I'm here for the Radiothon, the dude goes, are you at the radio station? I said, yeah. He goes, who are you? And I could kind of feel like he might be a Bone fan. You kind of get that vibe sometimes. Yeah. So I whip out my laminate and I show him, and he's like, I knew it was you, man. I love you and Mo. I just saw Dizzy a little bit ago. It really, really means the world.
That's funny.
And I can't imagine the customer service training that they go through here at this hospital. So, like, when you make a donation, which I hope you will, just know that when you do so, it's not going to some nameless, vacuous, empty fund.
Right.
Your money is going to provide therapeutic tools to kids. It's going to provide meals for kids, education, entertainment, physical therapy, etc. And that's why we are so proud to do what we're doing today as we go all in for All Children's. Generously, by the way, sponsored by Clean Earth Systems. Text all in to 34984. We are doing this for and in the #1 children's hospital in Florida, the only nationally ranked children's hospital in Tampa Bay. They do so much to bring world-class innovation to local families. You don't have to leave Tampa Bay to get the best pediatric care in the country. They were founded in 1926. By my math, that's about 100 years ago.
Yeah, actually it is.
And they were founded to care for children battling polio. What we are sitting in right now used to be a citrus packing house. They went from taking the beautiful Florida orange and turning it into orange juice, orange sherbet, etc., to saving lives and changing lives. And and we are so honored to be part of this initiative. And I'm so thankful to each and every one of you who has made a donation. If you've been listening to the show for a while, look, we don't charge you for this entertainment we give you every day.
No.
Nor should we, to be honest with you. Like, I would want a refund if we charge you anything for the banal, bland entertainment that we normally provide on a daily basis, Maurice. But today, $5. If we made you laugh once, $5. If we made you laugh twice, $10. If you found yourself gravitating towards what Maurice and I do, 20, $50, $100, it certainly goes a long way. And we're joined by a couple of heroes here. I don't throw that word around lightly. I consider healthcare workers to be heroes among us, these people who are driven with a purpose to exhibit care, compassion, and empathy for the patients they take care of. Let's talk to a couple of ladies right now, one of whom had her microphone up by her head.
Can I, just because we want to utilize the full hour?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the matching hour.
It is indeed, and this matching hour is brought to you by Clean Earth Systems, matching dollar for dollar anything you give until 6 p.m. $5 get you 10, 25 get you 50, 50 get you 100, etc.
Right now, while you talk to these heroes here, I'm going to donate 50.
That's going to be
50. That'll be 100.
That's going to be $100. And you know what? Since I make half of what you do, I'm going to donate twice just to show what a good dude I am and donate $100. That'll become 2. Hi there.
Hey,
What's your name?
Holly.
Hi, Holly. How are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. What do you do here?
I'm an RN.
Oh, very
in the
good.
NICU.
Oh man, what a you are. I don't want to say like predestined to do this, but it is a calling. Like to be able to immerse yourself into that for 10 hours at a time, 12 hours at a time. That's a special talent and a special skill. How do you have the resolve to know every day you're walking into a NICU where these little tiny, beautiful little creatures are literally fighting for their lives?
You know what? I love this job. I've loved this job. I've worked here for 31 years in the same hospital.
Wow.
And I just love what I do. I love to watch the babies from the time they're born and all the milestones that they can, do with each other. They're just so resilient and they're such fighters.
You nurses are so overworked, in my opinion, and underpaid that your currency almost comes in the smiles that you see and the lives that you save and the comfort that you're able to provide. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. I didn't get into nursing for money. And,
good thing.
I got into it because I love people. I love, making a difference. And that's really true. I really do love being here.
Yeah, and a lot of the parents that you see are in the worst experience of their entire life. My son was in critical care when he was 7 months old, and I looked around at all of the other babies on breathing apparatus and wondering how those parents find that kind of strength. You know what I mean? And for you to be able to do that every day, that's a tremendous amount of resolve. And I know it's not always easy, but I'm sure the wins far outweigh the losses for you, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes.
What kind of equipment is required for that? Because I imagine for parents, some of whom middle class, lower income, et cetera, it's a struggle to be able to afford some of those things, which is why we're doing what we're doing today.
So, in the hospital, things have come such a long way since when I actually first started until now. Technology has just come so far. We've learned so much about preemies. We know, how to preserve their brains, and that's the most important.
Yeah.
And, the equipment that they've gotten over the years has really made a difference. We've learned so much from them.
Yeah, I got when I would post it about this on my Facebook, I have to find it because this mom posted about her kid who was in the hospital, and I think it was born at like 1 month old. Is that can you be born at 1 month and still make it in this world?
So we are attempting to save babies 23, 22 weeks, which you figure 20 weeks would be a 5-month pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then from then, on. But yes, it is possible.
You never want your child to be sick or to see your child sick. I would imagine, though, it's exponentially more terrifying if the child is at that age, at a very young age, early birth, as opposed to maybe when they have a little bit of strength about them that you feel will help them in battling whatever the adversity is. But when they're just helpless from the beginning, that has to be terrible.
Yes, it is. It is challenging. The babies go through so much, and they really are strong. They're fighters. They have to. It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster for the families. It's a roller coaster for the babies. But but they're so resilient.
Yeah.
And it's such a reward when you see them go home and they're thriving.
Right.
Yeah, it was Gwendolyn, and this might have been like your first week on the job because you said you've been here, 31 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this happened in 1994. He was there for 7.5 months here at All Children's Hospital, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, weighed in at 1 pound, 13 ounces, and he turns 32 years old today.
Oh, wow.
And, I think what a lot of people might not realize is when you have to deliver at that age, you don't just get to leave this place and never come back. You require constant care, and that's where the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital Foundation comes in by helping these parents out with all the needs they might have.
Yes, and Abby here, she's so she was actually one of my patients.
What?
23 years ago.
No
So
kidding.
She was born at 27 weeks, and I was her primary nurse. So
Are you kidding?
She's now a new grad in our
That's
unit.
crazy.
Abby, that is amazing.
Yeah, very full circle.
Wow. So, obviously you don't remember being in here as a little baby, but do you have memories as a kid of coming to All Children's Hospital?
Yeah, and my twin brother and I were actually here. We were both 27-weekers. So my mom still talks about Holly and how amazing she was, and just how much of a difference she made. Because we do a thing called primary nursing, like Holly said. So, like, if she's working that night, she's automatically with me and my brother. So, yeah, my parents really got to know her, and it's just very full circle. That's why I wanted to come here and give back to just a place that I've heard so much about.
Wow, that has to make you feel incredible. Like you saw
She's
her
here
literally
because
when
of you,
she's
yeah.
this little creature. She's only in this world because of the care that you guys were able to provide. And then she grows up and wants to do the same thing that you do, take care of the next one. And someday you're going to be sitting where Holly is, and there's going to be a little baby who grows up to be you.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow, what a cool moment. And that's certainly the common thread of so many of you guys who work here is that you, at a very young age, had something happen to draw you to this field. Is that true with you as well, Holly? Like, how did you end up here? Did you always want to do this for work?
I always wanted to be a nurse from a young age. I started off with adults, and not in nursing, but like as a nursing assistant. And I just really loved babies. I really loved babysitting. I loved, so I started off, with babies and then went to the NICU.
Man.
And I do love it.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you don't love it, it's going to beat you down, right? Like, it's one of those things where if you aren't getting something out of that, it's going to drain the life right out of you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, for you, Abby, at what age were you like, okay, this was brought to me. I was saved because of Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. I'm definitely following that same path. Is it as long as you remember, this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, when I graduated from high school, we had this plate that we passed around from kindergarten where we all put what we wanted to do when we grew up, and mine said nursing even at that age, which obviously I didn't know the full story and was young, but it's just crazy that was even in my brain at that age. So but yeah, I've kind of always known, and I knew that nursing was what I wanted to do, just like Holly said, but I wasn't sure the specialty. But then as soon as I heard the story and started babysitting and really was kind of with the newborns a lot, I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do.
Do you share that story with parents? Like when
Yeah.
I imagine you do, and I imagine those parents, I can't imagine how helpful it is to know that, to see you a living, breathing example of survival, of someone who was brought into that situation and not only survived it, but then wanted to pay it back by doing the same thing for these beautiful little newborns.
Yeah, I feel like it gives them a lot of comfort just because in the moment they're like, what the heck is going on? Like, I don't know how this is going to result, but yeah, just telling them my story, telling them about my twin brother. They're very, very grateful to hear our story, and it really kind of helps them.
Is he a nurse too?
Yeah,
Like, what's
do
he
you
doing?
ever rub it in your brother's
Yeah, like,
face?
what,
and you're like, hey.
is he working at Foot Locker right now? Like, what's going on with that bro of yours?
Yeah, he just got home from the Navy, actually.
Okay, all right. Now I'm a jerk. Fine,
No,
Abby.
but
Jeez.
I was leaving, and I was like, going to my interviews. Bye.
Well, I mean, to serve our country, obviously something happened along the way to instill that kid with gratitude too. You and your brother must have been bonded from like birth. You know what I mean? Like something like that can either push a family apart or bring them closer together. And I can imagine hearing the words coming out of mouth and looking at you. That's something that definitely filled you both with a sense of purpose and gratitude.
Yes, for sure. And we went to high school together and then just have been together obviously our whole lives. So just getting to be there with him and experience life with him has been great. He just got back like a few months ago. So we definitely have a lot of catching up to do since he's been gone for so long. But
And this is only happening because of you. Like like you made this happen. Like you have to hear her talk like a proud mom, and where you're just like, I helped this kid become who she is.
And I'm going to continue helping her through her nursing career. I mean,
Beautiful.
we work a lot together at work. We both work night shift. So it's, it's good for me to be able to go and check on her and, answer questions she may have.
yeah, I'm always bugging you. I'm like, come over and check on me.
I imagine for families too who find themselves, because when you're getting a procedure done, you don't have time to reflect. You're in it. You know what I mean? You don't have time to think about anything. But once all of that is done, you're here at night, the thoughts creep in. For the two of you to be able to go to a family and tell your story, I imagine there are a lot of jaw-dropping moments where they're like, no way was this one of your premature babies, and she became someone who followed right in your footsteps.
Yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of our coworkers are amazed by it. And it's kind of the talk of the unit right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine it would be. I mean, talk about destiny and talk about following a path. That's exactly what you're doing, Abby. I wish you continued success doing it. It feels great to be alive, and you're making a difference in this world, and you're doing it because of Holly over here. Wow. You guys are awesome. Thank you. This is a great conversation.
Absolutely.
I can't even tell you how much it means to me that you'd share that with us, and thank you both so much. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Keep changing lives, and you've got an amazing future out in front of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it up. Great job, ladies. Thank you.
Ladies.
And this is a matching hour, a perfect time to mention that. I mean, if you were moved by that story, you owe us some money, to be honest with you. Look.
I thought we'd wait till 6 to get to you owe us.
No, you absolutely owe us. Look, we aren't providing this type of conversation, this enlightening, deep, enriching type of conversation for nothing. We have a debt to pay here, people, and that debt is texting all in, ALLIN, to 34984. I'm not trying to guilt you into anything, because you should have no guilt. You should have gratitude for being alive.
100%.
And not following, the same path that they did. You've had it easy. I've had it easy, for crying out loud. These ladies are out here changing lives, and this is a matching hour thanks to Clean Earth Systems. So your $50 donation, $100 donation. $150 becomes $300. You don't need me to do the math. $295 becomes
see, now you
oh man, 490. Wait,
$295.
300 becomes 600. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Idiot. Don't do math live on the radio. Garabo, what's wrong with you? We are here, all in for all children's, the #1 hospital in Florida, the only nationally ranked children's hospital in Tampa Bay. Stories like this are phenomenal. They are not unique. There are lots of stories like that here at this hospital. People growing up to take care of other people. It's simply beautiful. Can you give us a legal ID, Eric, in like a 1 minute so I can chug down some water and rest this stupid voice of mine for about 30 seconds?
I need to run to the ladies' room.
No one needs to know that, Maurice. So we're going to reset real quick. We'll be right back. Get those donations coming in. Matching hour, thanks to Clean Earth. We'll be right back. It's all in for all children's. We are Drew Garabo live right here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.
You're listening to Drew Garabo live on 102.5 The Bone. We're commercial-free for Radiothon, benefiting Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Special thanks to Clean Earth Systems. For 100 years, this community has stepped up for kids. Keep it going. Call the International Diamond Center donation line at 800-270-8642 to donate right now. Generously supported by Clean Earth Systems.
We could not have gotten to where we are today without philanthropy. And yes, there are grants we apply for and things we apply for, but the sustainability of what we're doing, philanthropy is the key. It's the engine that works. It's why we're able to continue to take care of the families. And some of the cancers and things that develop are after treatment, and we need to be able to follow those patients. There's monies for long-term things. These grants are like short-term things, but, people's lives keep going on, and we need to keep monitoring and keep doing things. So there's just a lot of ways that philanthropy makes it possible to sustain the treatments and the cures.
When you make a pledge today, you become part of that Johns Hopkins All Children's family. And that is becoming a dream builder for a child at one of the most frightening moments of their life, or a parent who is scared and exhausted and searching for hope. You're making that hope possible. Your generosity supports life-saving care, both today, and it's fueling the research that leads to tomorrow's cures, the breakthroughs that give families answers when none seem possible. Your gift helps fund innovative treatments, clinical trials, and discoveries that improve outcomes, not just for one child, but for all children everywhere. You may never meet the child whose life you are getting ready to help change, but your kindness will be felt in every step forward, every milestone reached, every future made brighter, because research moved medicine forward. So the community has always shown up for our children, for Johns Hopkins All Children's, and today, right now, you have the opportunity to turn compassion into discovery, hope into healing, and generosity into a lasting legacy.
You know, donations to a children's hospital represent an investment in the future, because what we do for a kid today pays a dividend over the next 70, 80, 90 years of that child's life. And I don't know whether the next kid that I operate on may go on to be President of the United States, may be a great scientific leader, may start a business that changes the world. So you just don't know, but that's the exciting part of working with kids, is that, you know, we help them, and then we set them on their path, and we just wait to see what they do with their lives.
102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio.
So checking in, getting Ryan looked at, he was experiencing a lot of infections, one after the other for months. And he had some really easy bruising, and it kind of sent some red flags up. So his pediatrician sent us to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital just to get him further checked out. And after having some blood drawn, there was some concerning markers in his blood work. And the doctor came in and said that his blood work showed that there was concern for leukemia. As a family of 6, that was devastating to hear. It wasn't what we were expecting when we went into the ER that day. But Ryan, he was a trooper from day one. He was the strongest little boy, and that's how he got his name, Tough Guy Rye. When Ryan was diagnosed, it was hard because we were still kind of in the thick of COVID. So precautions, you know, we weren't able to always have visitors and families come up and visit. So Johns Hopkins became our family. They took our hand and they walked us through every step. They saw the highs, the lows, they saw our good days, and they saw our rough days, and they became our second family and really were just there for us during every step of the way. Donations, every dollar counts in saving children's lives and, giving them support while in the hospital, whether it's for child life or that they have, the means to continue to support the children and their families. And Brea, she's a light. Ryan loved playing with Brea on the floor every day, throwing ice cubes for her and playing ball. It was one of the highlights of our stays.
This is the 24-hour commercial-free radiothon, raising hope and healing for Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital in partnership with Clean Earth Systems. Unique opinions, compelling conversation, and the best in afternoon entertainment. Now, the conversation continues on Drew Garabo Live.
Okay. I know I said we weren't going to take any breaks. I lied. Listen, this is a matching hour by Clean Earth Systems. What that means is any donation you make, Clean Earth Systems is going to double it. Matching dollar for dollar. Anything you give. You want to feel extra generous? $100 donation makes $200. $150 makes $300. $500 makes $1,000. And it all goes to benefit these heroes among us and to make families' lives easier in the most difficult, trying situation that you could possibly imagine. Those of us who live a comfortable life, I believe, have a debt to pay to help out those who don't have it so easy. Having been in this hospital numerous times to deliver iPads to kids going through treatment, I got to see firsthand the level of care and compassion that these nurses, doctors, surgeons, administrators, everybody here provides. They are all committed to making a very difficult situation a lot easier. And I, to see kids smile in the face of this, like when we would come and bring iPads to these beautiful little angels in the midst of treatment,
right,
to see a smile on their face, to hear a laugh, unbelievably impactful. And you can do that by simply texting all in to 34984. When you do that, your $20, your $50, you know that is going to a physical therapy program. You know that is going to some electronics that's going to make life a little bit more fun for a family that's in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something that provides comfort, healing, etc. Every single dollar you spend has a destination. This isn't going to some vacuous, faceless organization. And these aren't luxury items. These are safety items, the very items needed to keep kids alive. This community's been showing up for All Children's Hospital for over 100 years, and we are certainly not stopping now. If you can give what you can, every little bit of it matters. Please help us write the next 100 years of care. And just between you and me, our big boss, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's in the room with us. In
Yes.
fact, both of our big bosses are currently in the room with us. We are on pace to have the biggest hour of donations of the day. I want to shout out Penny from Palmetto, Julie from, what the heck is that word, Mo? Is that Mendon?
Julia Mendon.
Julie, you know where you're from.
Yeah.
You're from the planet Mendor. Jeff G. from Sarasota, Shelly from Riverview, Libby from Wesley Chapel, Britt from Seminole, Jennifer from Venice. You are all heroes. You are all helping us serve our purpose today, and we will shout out each and every one of you, no matter how much you can give. We definitely appreciate it. It goes a long way. All in, ALLIN, to 34984. And again, we're in a matching hour, so if your $5 donation becomes 10, which is huge.
Yeah, but I was going to say, speaking of with Clean Earth doing the matching hour, if you donate 100 and they're going to get 200, you're responsible for that $200.
Yeah.
Because without your 100, there would be no match. So you can look at yourself as doing something really fantastic.
You're absolutely right about that, Maurice. And let's say you can give $50, and let's say there are 10 of you listening right now who can give $50. You know what you just did? You covered pizza and movie night for a bunch of kids facing the worst situation of their life and their parents' life for a single night. The hospital feels less like a hospital, and that's what I love so much about this place. The vibrant colors, the fun element of it. You know, when you used to watch movies and TV shows that would feature a hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, that sterile,
dour,
white, all doctors in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Doctors chain smoking. Well, let's have a look at that knee, little Timmy. This is the exact opposite of that. They don't even allow smoking on the campus. Sorry, Mo. But all of them here are in a great mood. All they want to do is put smiles on faces. That's all we want to do here. And look, chemotherapy, I don't know what you've heard. It's not a lot of fun. I knew that before. I had 4 rounds of it myself.
Right.
Having endured 4 rounds of it, 3 of which nearly prevented me from sitting in this chair and talking to you today, I can't imagine what that's like for a kid.
For a child.
And for their parents who have to explain to their kids, you need this treatment to get this disease out of your life so that you can grow up one day. Chemotherapy infusion chair. You sit in this chair for a couple of hours during treatment. Okay? So for a kid to sit in a regular chair for a couple of hours is a chore. These chemotherapy infusion chairs cost $2,000. They're comfortable. They directly affect how those kids can tolerate chemo, and your donation goes right to that. If you've got $1,000, you just covered a chemotherapy infusion chair because Clean Earth Systems is matching your $1,000 donation. And whether you want to brag about it to your friends, share it with your family, or just keep it to yourself, you will fall asleep tonight knowing that you provided a chair for kids to sit in to get life-saving treatment. Amazing. And, let's say you got $2,500, okay? Some of us have $2,500 to spare. You can get blood testing equipment that provides fast and accurate blood counts. And when you're going through chemotherapy, let me tell you, those blood counts tell the story of how you are surviving that disease. And doctors can make immediate treatment decisions. When I was going through treatment, my platelets fell off a cliff because of that chemotherapy that they pump in your body.
Sure.
You need platelets to help your blood clot. And there were a few moments where I knew that driving to an infusion center, if I were to get into a car accident, that'd be it. Because if I started bleeding, I wouldn't be able to stop bleeding. Here, they are in a controlled environment in a hospital, and these blood treatment and blood testing equipments, the cell counters, if you will, they put it on your door every day. You got a little dry erase board. Your platelets are at this. Your white blood cells, or WBCs, if you will, are at this. Your red blood cells are at this. So doctors can immediately go, oh, my gosh, little Timmy in room 9, his platelets are at a dangerous level. We got to get an infusion going. You are literally saving lives. Please.
And going back to something you said, and you were talking about what it would take to throw a pizza and a movie night party here. You have to understand, you eating pizza and watching a movie at your house is not the same thing. And it's like you said, as a child being able to have that moment, that night, and for a little while, forget the fact that they're fighting for their lives.
Correct.
Forget the fact that they are sick. It's so much. So I don't want you to hear a pizza party and movie night and think, oh, well, do I really need to donate to you? Absolutely, you need to
those
donate
are the
to
most
that.
important pizza and movie nights.
100%.
Yeah, because for a family to be able to forget temporarily that they're in a hospital.
Right. Because how exhausted, with the parents, for the parents to be able to sit with their children and for a moment have a normalcy.
Yeah, and having been through it myself with my son when he was 7 months old, I don't know what's worse or better, having a little infant who is unaware of his surroundings or having a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old who knows enough to ask questions about what they're going through.
Right.
And that's what Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital does, is they deal with kids all ages and families of all different backgrounds. And it's so beautiful in a divisive world in which we live that we can all come together and do something here today.
Right.
These kids don't know anything about you. All they know is that a stranger cared enough to make a life-saving donation, and you can do so by texting all in to 34984. Now, this is going to be, if you thought that those two nurses we just had on was pretty impactful, what we're about to do is going to impact you even greater, because I asked my friend Donnie to call in today.
All right.
This one's going to make you cry, just so you know. Like, get your tissues ready. Because,
make me cry, Drew.
All right, this one's going to make you cry. Donnie, are you there?
I am. How's it going, Drew?
My man, I can't be in this hospital and not think about you and your family and meeting you guys so many years ago when we dropped Baylor off an iPad and getting to know you and Carly then and through the years. I'd love to have you tell the story of Baylor, if you don't mind, as we remind people how important it is to take care of these little warriors by texting all in to 34984. Please, Donnie, if you don't mind, tell us about Baylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Baylor was an amazing girl. She still amazes us every day with every year that we do her foundation toy drive for the hospital every year in September for pediatric cancer awareness. Baylor was diagnosed with DIPG, which is diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, which is a tumor that kind of formulates in the brainstem of the pons. So basically that is a terminal diagnosis, and usually gives about six months to a year of life. Baylor was fortunate enough to kind of be blessed by the decisions that were made by the doctors and me and Carly to prioritize quality of life over trying to do something drastic that would diminish any type of life that she would have left. So she was a fighter. We were able to do about 30 rounds of radiation, and that stunted the tumor and allowed her to have about a year's worth of time before the impacts of the tumor growth restarted. Right. So, yeah, it's a lot to take in such a small bit of time. But basically, it was a horror film in the living. From what we saw based on her symptoms of balance issues to a bit of cross-eyedness, and we were worried, and we called our pediatrician, and she said, do not wait, go immediately down to All Children's in St. Pete, and that's exactly what we did. And we were held overnight because they said that there was a mass in the initial scan. We didn't know what that meant. They didn't know what that meant until the next morning we were scheduled for another MRI. And that's when the specialist, the neurologist came down and said, can we see you? And so they brought you to that special little room where you obviously know nothing good comes from. Yeah. And they broke the news to us, It was I just remember looking at Carly and seeing her devastation, and it really didn't hit me until I just kind of digested every thought I could ever imagine within 60 seconds. And then I looked at her and I said, we're going to make this the best year of our life, and that's what we did. We met with all the doctors. They put us on kind of a path, and they were like, well, you can see if there's a secondary opinion, but we know this is it for sure. And so we kind of said, well, let's get the ball rolling, and so we went with that path. We met with some more neurologists, surgeons, other people. They all said the same thing. So we went ahead with radiation, and there was obviously side effects to radiation, but there was a lot of emotions that went into all of that. Yeah. But after mainly the radiation subsided, all the symptoms, we did have one issue where she started getting some swelling in the ventricles, which allows your brain to drain to the back of your brain. That was blocked off because of swelling from the radiation. They were able to fix that with shunt and this crazy procedure that they told us basically we needed to use this robot to laser guide a blunt tip needle in the back of your daughter's head to drain the cyst. So we're like, well, if this is the option, yes, let's go, and they did it. And it was night and day, Drew, from the day we brought her in from all that. And the next day she was alert, talking, walking, eating, everything. It was mind blowing. But after that, we had a great time of life. She was able to do kindergarten. She was able to, it breaks her heart because it was during COVID, right there in the midst of 20 and 21. Yep. But, we wanted to do so much things, and then the world closed on us. So it kind of broke our sails a little bit, but we made every bit of magic and dreams that could come true. Our community was absolutely incredible. We feel very fortunate that we lived in such a small town that everybody knew us, everybody knew Baylor's story, everybody wanted to help. We really feel like if we were in a major city, we would have just been a needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
But Baylor has touched so many people's lives and changed so many people's lives. Even today, I've had so many people say, "Hey, your story has put things in perspective for my own family. Changed some priorities for life. Rekindled faith-based relationships, and just the yearly of allowing Baylor to continue to create magic for those kids down at All Children's Hospital every year."
Donnie, you are one of the most beautiful human beings I know to endure such a thing and to want to use it to impact the world in a positive way. People who would meet you under different circumstances would have no idea what you went through, and meeting you so many years ago here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. If you can kind of speak to the differences they made here, about the level of care that she received, about the nurses who took care of her, I think it would really inspire some people to text all in to 34984 and really help us make a difference for other kids.
100%. Every doctor, every nurse, every staff member to the cafeteria people, they all made a difference, all wanted to be there for everybody who's in that hospital, because everybody there is for different reasons. Some are just doctor's visits, but a lot of them are there not on good terms. So everybody there really truly goes above and beyond just to make that little bit of difference. The bedside manner was just huge, absolutely huge. And we absolutely love John Hopkins, All Children's down there in St. Pete. And, we highly recommend them, and we still love donating every year as many toys as we can gather up to bring down there during Pediatric Awareness Month, and also to overflow their coffers down there for the toy room for Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing you're doing, Donnie, and I have to say, you mentioned the lives that Baylor changed, and you can count me among that, because when I gave her that iPad, and then keeping in touch with you and Carly through the years, it inspired me to see what I could do to help out. And thanks to your incredible sister and the help of Megan, we were able to start Bay It Forward. And we've got our website rolling out soon, so we can start really making an impact. Achieve a Credit Union who came by and dropped off another $5,000 to this charity event today. Dude, they gave $5,000 to our charitable organization that we had barely just started. And then today they come in with $5,000 to help this All In for All Children's Radiothon. Phenomenal. That type of stuff.
Incredible.
That's why we're here, dude. You and I talk about it all the time, about a purpose-driven life. And we are here to make life easier so that other people don't have to suffer through what we went through and through what you went through.
You're absolutely right.
And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your friendship and for you sharing Baylor's story with all of us. And I hope it inspires a couple people out there to really dig deep and see what they can do to help us out by texting All In to 34984 or calling the International Diamond Center phone line at 800-270-8642. Every single little bit helps, from pizza parties to blood cell counting machines to chemotherapy chairs, all of it. Donnie, I appreciate you a ton, my man. I can't wait to get back out on the golf course with you soon.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I'm ready myself.
Hell yeah. I promise I'll play a little bit better.
Thank you all down there at the Bone. Thank you, All Children's. My family, Team Nichols, absolutely appreciates everything that everybody has done for us and Baylor, and just being good people. You guys are awesome, and we love you guys. And until we hang out again,
Yep. Absolutely. It'll be soon, my man. Love you back, and thanks again for sharing your story, buddy. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Much love, my brother.
Much love. Take care.
You too. So there you have it. Now you hear from a parent who didn't expect to bring Baylor to All Children's Hospital. You know what I mean? You one day, your kid has a headache, your kid has a runny nose, and you think it's nothing, and then the next thing you know, you're thrust into this emotional black hole of confusion, and it makes the world of difference to be able to provide the smallest things for that kid. And when it's a permanent situation and you need feeding, speech, developmental therapy, They use 5,000 tubs of Play-Doh every year in speech and feeding therapy here at Johns Hopkins. I don't know how much a tub of Play-Doh costs these days. I haven't been shopping around for any, but I imagine
it's a lot.
Probably not cheap. I do think that the smell of 5,000 tubs of Play-Doh would be pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I would love, my dream is to one day be in a room where they simultaneously open 5,000 tubs of Play-Doh. Your donation can make that happen.
Absolutely.
For me. All in 34984. But more importantly, the kids who are going to use that, between 1,000 and 2,000 bottles of bubbles used for speech therapy every year. We already heard from the music therapy people, the physical therapy people, the canine therapy people. You are helping out kids by putting smiles on their faces with your match donation, by the way, from Clean Earth for another 20 minutes.
And in that 20 minutes, I wanted you to think of what touched me the most with the interview was him saying we had to choose between quantity or quality of life. If you have never had to choose for your child between quantity and quality of life, you should pay that fortune forward for those that have to make that choice.
No question. Yeah, you're exactly right, Maurice. It's, if you feel thankful, if you heard a story like Donnie's, it's okay to feel thankful. Like, oh, my God, thank God that wasn't my kid.
Me. Right.
It's perfectly okay to feel that way.
That'll help the ones whose children it is.
You'll sleep so much better knowing that you helped someone like Baylor deal with stuff like that. This play-based therapy that they do, it's $3,000. That funds their Play-Doh, crafts, therapy supplies. You got $1,500. Boom. You just help kids feel like kids. Because like you said, when you've got to decide between, do I want my kid to live longer or do I want my kid to live better?
Right.
That is a choice no parent should ever have to make.
That hit me.
But if you do have to make that choice, thank God we live in an area where we have a facility like this, and thank God we're able to broadcast to people like you who care enough to dig deep and give to All In, ALLIN, to 34984, or just call the International Diamond Center phone line at 800-270-8642. When they just came to us and said, you guys have the biggest hour of the day so far, great. I want to do more. I don't want to just surpass the numbers. I want to crush those numbers, because that means we have people listening to our on-air product who are compassionate, empathetic, and want to make a difference in the world.
And the money that you donate will, regardless of the choice, will help with the quantity and or quality of the life of these children that they serve.
Yeah, you are not only giving these kids a longer life, you are giving them a better life.
Right.
And man, just think about being able to make a kid feel like they're not in the hospital for 2 minutes. That's what we hope to do with those iPads that we would give out during chemotherapy. If a kid can watch Blippi or SpongeBob or Bluey or Yo Gabba Gabba or whatever the heck kids watch these days while they're going through chemotherapy and forget about the fact that they're strapped to a chair while this toxic sludge works its way through their system. That's what it is. I mean, I received much of it myself. If you can provide a little bit of distraction and comfort, I think that is a wonderful, beautiful thing. And I thank each and every one of you who are continuing to donate during this matching hour. Dollar for dollar, Clean Earth Systems is matching anything you give. So let's
17 minutes.
Dude, yeah, and let's say you want to give a monthly contribution, right? Like you can spare $15 a month. Who among us couldn't spare $15 a month? That's like $5 a week at most, right? So you do that, Clean Earth Systems is going to match that monthly donation. So $15 a month becomes $30 a month. $100 becomes $200. We are looking for miracle makers out there. That's $15 a month. You are making miracles happen. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, okay, great, but why should I give? What's that going to do, right? Well, no kid is turned away from this hospital regardless of their ability to pay.
Right.
I will say that again because that is huge. No kid is turned away from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital regardless of their ability to pay. Sometimes when you're faced with a donation, you go, where's my money going? Is it going to boardroom salaries? Is it going to Washington State? Is it going to Alberta, Canada? No. Every dollar you spend not only stays local, but it goes to research, equipment, programs, and care to celebrate Johns Hopkins All Children's 100th anniversary. If you could donate $100, that would be just wonderful. And my gosh, do we have an incredible guest lined up for you fine people today. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, her name is Marla. What's up, Marla?
Nothing much. How about you?
Man, everything's good. My name's Drew. That's Maurice right there.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Marla.
meet you.
It is certainly a pleasure to meet you. I'm looking over your biography here.
Ooh,
seeing
a
what we need to-
biography.
I have a
Look at
biography.
you.
She's
I'm famous.
super famous. I know. There are books being written about Marla as we speak. Marla isn't just a visitor here today. You'll notice no visitor pass.
No visitor pass.
You are 17 years old.
Yes.
And you have spent most of your life right here, not in this room, but right here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself and tell us why.
I have cerebral palsy, so I've been a patient here since I was about 2. It's a motor disability, so all my muscles on my left side are super stiff. So I've had a ton of surgeries. I've had one surgery when I was 4, and then when I was 14, I had a lot of surgeries. I was in the hospital for a few days. And then after that, I had so much physical therapy. I've had physical therapy since I've been here a lot. I don't have physical therapy right now, but I've been going to physical therapy 3 times in a week. Like at one point, it was like 3 times a week.
Man, you are here
like
more
months.
than anybody. There are
Yeah.
probably nurses and doctors that don't come here as much as you
Yeah.
do, and they get paid. Talk to us about this facility. Like, talk to us about like how it doesn't really feel as much like a hospital. Maybe like it feels like you're seeing friends and
Yeah.
vibrant colors and all that.
Well, the patients themselves can be friends because they're my age and they're also coming for help. But then the people that are your physical therapists, your doctors, your occupational therapists, your speech therapists, all of them become family because all of them are helping you. And sometimes you don't like them as much because, you're in a little bit of pain.
You're still a
being
17-year-old.
pushed.
Yeah,
But
right.
like, you know that you can love and trust them so much because they all want the best for you 24/7.
Yeah, and having been here your whole life pretty much, you develop a relationship with these people. And is it a scary place for you to visit every day, or have you kind of lost that fear and it's just you're used to it?
There's no fear coming here. Sometimes I'm really excited to come here because I like knowing that I know everyone, and then most of the time if I come in pain, there's not going to be pain when I leave.
Right.
I'm just going to be so comfortable after. I'll be so tired. I'll maybe complain coming here, but then I'm like, oh, you fixed me. You helped my body.
Do you know what an amazing human being you are? I mean, like, do you have any idea, like, how? Like, I mean, I know you're living your life, but like, do you have any idea how friggin' phenomenal your attitude is?
I hope it's good.
It's amazing. You are a hero. You to face this kind of stuff at 17 with a smile on your face and a positive attitude. You are winning at life, young lady.
I try my best.
Oh my God! What an inspiration. Who's going to complain about their problems when you're hearing Marla?
I'm not.
And,
I'm not.
And Marla can tell you firsthand about where your donations are going to go and how important it is to text all in ALLIN to 34984 or call 800-270-8642. Again, Clean Earth Systems is matching dollar for dollar what you donate. Tell us about some of the services that they provided you here so people know like where their money is going to help out a young lady like yourself.
So when I first came here, I did a lot of intensives. So I was in speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. The majority of my life coming here, if it's not just for doctor's appointments, like my physiatrist, it's like rehab and like physical medicine. But most of the time it's for physical therapy, so I'm breaking out a lot. So there's a lot of that faculty and stuff. And then I have a lot of medical treatments I've had. So I've had serial casting, which is a ton of casts. I've had more casts than I can count, but I've only had one broken bone. And then one broken bone,
That's
but
it?
more casts than and I didn't break it. My surgeon purposely helped me. So my foot originally was turned in 20 degrees, and they had to break my femur so then they could have it externally rotated.
Yeah.
So they externally rotated my femur, and that was one of my biggest surgeries. And because of that, I was in the hospital for 3 nights, and that was a long time. I had physical therapy for a year and a half, 2 years after, so that's why I say that physical therapy, the majority of the time, I'm going there, but I've also had doctor's appointments, speech therapy weekly, occupational therapy. I just finished occupational therapy this summer. Again, I do it pretty often.
Yeah. What is talk to me about that occupational therapy. Like, what goes on there?
Occupational therapy is for like activities of daily life. So physical therapy is like picking up like something super heavy, but then occupational therapy is learning how to do it safely.
Okay.
So then if I say I cook a lot, so I like to cook, but there's a hot oven, so how are you gonna have really stiff muscles sometimes and use your muscles properly so then you're in a safe environment and everyone else around you is in a safe environment. So I was able to learn how to like cut and cook, put things in the oven, stir things without getting super tired, learn how to use my body, the muscles properly, so I'm able to use it all the time and I'm in a safe and comfortable environment.
Things people take for granted every day, every moment.
I got to say, 90% of the things she said, I can't do as a full-grown adult. So you are way ahead of the game, young lady.
Thank you.
You're an amazing person, Marla. Your story is fantastic and inspirational and fascinating. You have this beautiful smile on your face as you go through life. A normal 17-year-old is talking about the mall, and all this stuff. All of what you're going through right now, and I'm sure you know this already, everything you're going through right now is building character and strength and resolve. And you are, when you get to 20 and 30 years old, you are going to set this world on fire. Not in a literal way, I hope. but you are going to go on to do great things. Do you have kind of aspirations and goals to one day maybe work in healthcare to kind of pay back like what they've done for you?
It's definitely something that has interested me because I've created relationships with all the people here.
Yeah.
And because I have all those relationships with those people, I want to be able to create relationships with others so then I can help them because I know what they've done for me. I know what's to be in those shoes.
But your parents must be so proud of you. Like I cannot imagine having a daughter like that. I would be sobbing right now at the story
I
that
want to
you're
go
telling.
home and slap my kids. I'm being honest. I'm being real, Drew. I'm being real.
Mo does like to keep it real. He's probably not going to slap his kids, but if he does, just know he's doing it because of you, but in the most positive way possible. If you have been moved by what Marla shared with us, and how could you not be, help some other kid get occupational therapy. Help some other kid get a pizza and a movie night. Get the equipment, because no kid is turned away based on finances. And what you're going through, thinking as a dad, probably not cheap, even with insurance, probably costs a pretty penny. And that's why you can help out by texting ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984. And Clean Earth Systems is matching you dollar for dollar. So
8 minutes remaining on that.
all right, so
do
get
it
it
now.
Get
Do
it
it
in.
now.
$15 a month becomes $30 a month, and you're a superhero. And Marla, we have a caller every week with cerebral palsy. That's why it's something that's really, really special to my heart. We call him Jacob 2 times because he says everything 2 times as part of his condition. And I've always felt close to Jacob. He's been calling our show for about 10 years now. So to meet somebody else with CP, he's got the same attitude you do, just so grateful and just so happy, and you have this awareness about you that is far beyond your 17 years. You are going to do huge things in this life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Can I get a high five? Heck
Come on,
yeah.
give me some of that.
Oh, my God. I'm going to be thinking about this moment for the rest of the week. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and stay in good health, and keep being you. Never lose that smile.
Hope so.
All
I
right.
hope I will never lose it.
You won't.
Smile all the time.
You won't. You're amazing.
Thank
You're
you so
absolutely
much.
amazing. Thank you, Marley. You're awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm waiting until you leave to cry, okay? just so you know, I'm going to wait until you get up.
Yeah, you should talk to our boy Ethan over there.
Yeah, make him cry,
Yeah,
too.
Go make him cry.
Yeah, don't let me be the only one with a tender heart here crying. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Marley. You're incredible. You're great. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Fantastic. Get out of here.
Oh, my Jesus.
Wow, dude.
Okay. 800-270-8642 is the International Diamond Center phone line. You can text ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984. To be 17 years old and to have such an awareness about the world, to have gone through surgeries where they intentionally break your femur,
right,
so they can rotate your foot back 20 degrees. I just can't even express in words how moving and impactful and inspirational that young lady is. And if you've got a healthy kid, if you've got no kids at all, and you just want to make life a little bit easier, allow Cleaner Systems to match your donation dollar for dollar, all in, ALLIN. If you thought that was worth $10, great, that becomes $20, you know?
Let me talk to the fellas for a minute. Football season's done.
Yep.
You know, on that Hard Rock app, you were throwing $10 on it, $20 on it, $30 on it, and it was all a gamble. There is no gamble in giving money to help children that are in need of an organization like Johns Hopkins.
Yeah,
it's the best money that you are going to spend when you know, like I have, because I've done it. When I've just, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore, and then the next thing you know, I got $20 more on it. I got $40 more on it. If you can give that kind of money to nothing, give a little bit to something.
Because the biggest 10-leg parlay payout
oh, come on,
pales in comparison to the emotional fulfillment that you're going to get knowing that you helped a young lady like Marla walk, to help her learn the skills to cook.
Yeah. Did you say 10-game parlay?
Well, you know.
Okay, I get it. You're right.
I was not expecting that.
No,
I was proud of myself for holding it together while we were talking to Donnie about Baylor, because I've heard the story before and I thought I was okay. And I mean, look at her. What a little friggin' hero.
Let me tell you why I feel like a jerk and a whatever. Because this morning I was in my car and I was throwing a fit of cataclysmic proportions because I was in congested traffic.
Of course. It pisses you off.
And she, and then you sit next to her, and she's talking about coming here on a multi-weekly basis and having
friends
and the attitude, and it's like, what the hell am I bitching about?
Yeah, what are any of us complaining about? You know, this day will hopefully fill you with the same perspective that it has filled us with a sense of purpose and overwhelming sense of gratitude.
100.
That your kid isn't going to go through what Marla went through, what thousands of kids every year who walk through these doors go through and get elite care from these healthcare professionals.
I like that word because it is elite care. Yeah. It is absolutely elite care.
Yeah. I mean, a young lady like that does not get happy to go to a hospital if she's not receiving.
That's not taking care of her needs and that she doesn't feel comfortable with.
All right, now let's mind our P's and Q's here because we have a bona fide medical professional. All right, so let's.
Should I stop dispensing medical advice?
You probably should. Dr. Jim Thompson, how you doing, Dr. Thompson?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good, man. I call you Dr. T. Is that okay?
Around here, they just call me JT.
JT. All right. Well, I mean, you went to med school. You got a degree. We should call you Dr. JT, I believe.
I didn't go to 4 years of Evil Medical School to be called Mr. Evil.
Is Evil Medical School less expensive or more expensive than altruistic?
Just ask Austin Powers.
You are the director of interventional cardiology. I'm going to use my skills with the English language, Maurice, and say that when something is wrong with your ticker, you go see a doctor like him.
100.
Only if you're much smaller than you guys.
Correct. Thank you for saying that. I am a small man. So you deal with pediatric cardiology, which is the smallest of beings who have issues with their heart from birth. How did you get here? Like, what in you inspired you to follow this path?
Well, when I was younger, I was in the hospital a few times for some minor issues, and the way that my doctor made me feel comfortable and took care of me, I was like, I want to do that and take care of kids and make them feel the same way. And then when I got into medical school, I had a lecture by a pediatric cardiologist, and it just made sense. And I went and hung out with him and fell in love with it.
Wow. How long you been here at Johns Hopkins All Children's?
Just 5 years.
Oh, wow. What do you think so far?
Love it.
Yeah.
Best move I ever made.
Yeah. Where'd you come from?
I was up in the D.C. area outside in Northern Virginia.
Cool. Nice part of the country to move to from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the level of care that patients receive down here, and thanks to the donations of the fine people who are giving by texting ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984 today, goes so far. Tell us about some of the equipment that's required when you've got a little tiny human being who needs like a stent or something with their heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's, children aren't just small adults. And we, over years in interventional cardiology, we've had to adapt adult equipment to take care of kids, which is really hard because their blood vessels are smaller, their hearts are smaller. And there are a few companies that are now starting to make more specialized equipment just for babies, but it's incredibly expensive because the market is not as big as it is in adults. So like we have there's a company that makes a new stent for babies that's been out about a year that costs like $30,000, whereas a stent for you and I would be like maybe $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so the equipment's way more expensive. All the special services that we provide for the children and their families, it's the families that go through this too. And, a little baby, they've got other kids, they've got things that they're doing, at home, at work, and their special services that we provide that insurance just doesn't cover. So we need philanthropy. We depend on philanthropy to provide the excellent level of care that we do.
Yeah, and when you have a policy of not turning anyone away because of finances, like you said, this stuff, when insurance doesn't cover, it ain't cheap. And that's why the benevolent listeners to our radio station are truly, truly helping out by texting ALLIN to 34984. Did I read correctly that you have performed over 1,500 closures on little tiny hearts?
Yeah, so we close holes in the heart with little devices. You take a catheter up to the heart, you put it through, and it's kind of like a little umbrella. If you imagine a hole in a wall, you take an umbrella, push it through, open it on the other side, and pull it up against the wall to anchor it, and then on the other side an umbrella opens, and that's how we close a hole through a catheter.
Golly.
I know how I grew up. And I know
Black.
that that too. I know that if
Sometimes he forgets, JT. I got to tell him.
If a spider runs across me, I'm screaming like a schoolgirl. What kind of childhood, what in your upbringing prepared you or compelled you or enabled you to be able to work on a mechanism as tiny as a child's heart? Well, do you grow up different? Is it something that you get from your parents? No, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
because,
no, it's a good question.
Well, nobody in my family is in medicine, really. So, it's just something, again, I think from early in my life, I just kind of fell in love with the idea. And as you go through it, you learn different things, and it's really fascinating stuff that we do. And so it's very, I feel very privileged to get to do what I do.
So it was a thirst of knowledge at first.
Yeah, and helping people,
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what we, like I said, I'm blessed every day to be able to do this. I'm, very humbled by the families that we work with
Right.
and what they're going through. And so I just focus on how do I help them. And, today we did, I'm doing things, look, today that 5 years ago I would have said you're crazy if you told me I was doing it. We're taking care of babies, 600 grams, like a little bit over a pound, where we're closing, premature babies, closing little openings in their heart that are hurting them. And, we did a procedure today. We used to do it in this big procedure room, and now we've learned how to do it by the bedside so the patients don't have to be transferred, and it's just amazing stuff.
Does dealing with the fragility of babies and children on an everyday basis, does it scare you away from having your own children if you don't, or does it compel you to? What?
No, I have children, and I do go home, and I feel blessed that thankfully my children haven't had to go through some of the things that my patients go through.
Right.
And it just, it gives you inspiration, and you want these kids to grow up and have as normal of a life as
like
possible.
your children are doing. Right.
And so it gives us the motivation to always perform at the highest level we can.
Yeah, and you're in a type of profession where mistakes happen all over the place, but you don't really have the luxury of making a mistake, if that makes any sense, because when you're dealing with such a precise and small target area, there's no room for error there, right?
There's no room for error, and look, we're human. It's not like I've never made a mistake, unfortunately. I wish I was perfect, but I'm not.
Right.
But we learn from our mistakes, and we move on to do better next time, and we're also very focused on quality here, making sure that we have a review process, look at every procedure we do, how did we do it as well as we can we continue to do better and improve, and technology keeps marching on. So
Right.
Again, I have equipment today that 20 years ago, I would have said you were crazy if you said I was going to have that.
So, how does a parent know when their baby has a problem with their heart? Like, how do they even know to come to you?
Well, again, the technology keeps improving, and we have, one of my colleagues, Dr. Joy Johnson, who's the director of our fetal cardiology program. We are diagnosing the majority of serious heart defects in utero, early in pregnancy, so we can plan to have them delivered here. And if they need something right at birth, we're prepared to do it, and we plan it. And so outcomes are better because we know about it ahead of time instead of being born at a remote hospital or maybe even going home not knowing that you have a serious heart defect and then coming into the emergency room very sick.
Man, wow. So like in the last, I imagine, 20 years alone, let alone 50 years, 100 years, you guys have probably saved countless lives because of the proximity, because people who are in Tampa Bay are able to, like you said, deliver here, and therefore the care is happening right here instead of being medevac from out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, man, you're a hero among us, sir.
Yeah. And actually, I've got a quick story for you. So there was one of these babies that was supposed to be born on a given Monday. They were going to induce the delivery. We were going to be ready to do this procedure, right after birth. And I'm coming into the hospital one day, and they're like, "Hey, the baby was born." So I'm all right. I'm 5 minutes away. I'll be there. And then they called me back. They said, "Oh no, the baby was born down in Sarasota. The mother went into labor." No. And so to fly there and bring the baby back would take time and maybe too much time.
Sure.
So we grabbed some equipment, jumped in the helicopter, went to Sarasota, did the procedure at the bedside there, and then brought the baby back.
These are heroes among us, dude. We live our lives completely unaware that heroes among us are doing these incredible
You say hero,
tasks.
I say that's pimp. That's pimp, Drew.
I don't think he went to 4 years of non-evil medical school to be labeled a pimp by a sleeveless radio.
I'm saying the action was pimp.
Okay.
I like the pimp action.
Well,
I also love the red chucks. I used to have a pair of red chucks.
All right, get a room. Dr. Jim Thompson is the Director of Interventional Cardiology in the Heart Institute here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Don't forget to text ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984.
Before you go, silly but not silly question. Doing what you do, are you able to stop down and watch any medical drama, or do you watch them all and go, are you like, that's whatever? Can you enjoy one?
You can, but they do things wrong. The biggest thing that irritates me is you don't shock somebody at flat line. That's for dramatic. It's ventricular fibrillation when you get the squiggly line.
VFib.
That's when you shock. You don't shock flatline.
Okay.
You can give chest compressions, but don't shock.
Okay. I hope my girlfriend isn't listening. She's a respiratory therapist, so now if I see that, I'll be like, did you see that?
Right?
They shot that guy at flatline. He wasn't even VFib.
He got me into the pit because I was a big ER fan back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it? A lot of people say it's real. It's one of the
pretty good because they had medical consultants, and John Crichton actually went to med school, right? The guy that
Michael Crichton, yeah.
Anyway. But back when I was a resident was when that show was really popular, and I remember some episode, and I'm crying because of whatever's going on, and I'm like, why am I watching this? I live it every day, and so that's it. I have not watched this.
Oh wow! Okay.
What do you do to unwind, JT? Like when you need to get away from it all and get your head in the good space.
We're on the radio, right? Hold on.
That's our guy.
I like to sit on the dock with my wife and have a cold one.
Yeah,
nice.
Those moments probably to be able to clear your head and get a good perspective are very important.
That was when I first moved here, and I walked into my realtor was taking me around the house. And walk in, and you can see the water. I'm like, oh, wow.
Oh yeah, you had to love that.
That's awesome. Well, listen, thank you very much. Keep up the phenomenal work. You're a hero.
And thank you guys for helping support our cause, and thanks for all your listeners for helping us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, JT. Appreciate you.
Nice meeting you,
we hope your parents. We hope you parents out there never need JT, but if you do, he's here.
He's here at Johns Hopkins.
Whew. All right, Eric. Let's take a moment for the legal ID, and we will reset. We got a big hour coming up. We need huge donations from you. Call 800-270-8642. Call the International Diamond Center phone line or text ALLIN, ALLIN, to 34984. Maurice and I will be back for our final hour here. We're all in for all children at the 102.5 The Bone Radiothon.
You're listening to Drew Garabo live on 102.5 The Bone. 982 babies admitted to the Level 4 NICU last year. Support them. Call the International Diamond Center donation line at 800-270-8642 to donate right now. Generously supported by Clean Earth Systems. We're commercial free for the kids. Text keyword all in to 34984 to donate now. Generously sponsored by Clean Earth Systems. 1025 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio.
So Maya was about 5 months old when they brought her over. She's from the other side of the state originally and couldn't help her over there, so they ended up life flighting her to Johns Hopkins. She was in heart failure, and they worked really hard and tried to get her to come through that, but the heart just did not respond. So went in for transplant, on the transplant list, and then when she was 7 months old, she had her first heart transplant at Johns Hopkins. And Dr. Q was her doctor, and he's still our doctor today, Dr. AK, and we've had our team now for 11 years. But we got called in right after the surgery and asked if we would be interested in medical foster care for her. And we said, of course. And so we took her home right after about 9 months. We brought her home from the hospital, and we had her ever since. So we had foster care for about 3 years. And then the Lord just opened doors, and we were able to adopt her. And so we adopted her, and everything was great until she got about 6 years old, and she got really, really sick. And she got what they call PCP pneumonia, which attacks kids with low immune systems. And we were hospitalized for about 34 days. And in that 34 days, she almost died. 3 days was pretty touch and go. We weren't sure we were going to come out of there. And she did survive, but the heart was damaged. And so from 6 to that next year, we were in and out of hospital clinics and all those things. And finally, Dr. AK said, bring her back in. We admitted her, and we had the big meeting that said she's going to go back on the transplant list. And we did, and we lived in the hospital for how long?
226 days.
226 days, so for about 7 months and some change. We lived in the hospital because she was critical enough to be in, but we didn't have a heart, so we waited. And then when she was 7 years old, she got her second transplant. And we are now 4 years post-transplant and doing great.
Hanging out with Miss Carlin because me and her used to bake sushi together. And she takes me to the activity center. And we have a little playground out the hospital, and we go there. And in the fifth aisle, fifth floor, there was like a playroom. So we went there and we had fun together, and we did music and stuff.
So the thing that she mentioned was a lady named Carly, and Carly's part of the Child Life team, and that's the stuff that your insurance and things don't cover. But that's the stuff that keeps 7-year-old girls sane and mom and dad sane, because they come in with music therapy, with school. We went to school. We were there for 7.5 months. You had to go to school. That's school, music therapy, with the guys that come in and play the game. Keeping a child occupied who's very sick, but not sick enough just to lay there, that's where Child Life, and that's where donations come in. Donations come in to do those other programs that insurances don't cover. And if it wasn't for that, as a family, we would have gone insane, because there were days they run into, you become mentally numb. And they would come in and say, hey, y'all take an hour or two, go get something to eat, rest, we've got her. And that's huge. So when you give to this kind of to Share-a-thon, you're not giving just for the heart part of it. And that's huge. We love our heart team, we love our surgeons. But you're giving to just the mental part of it and the ability to function as a human being while you're isolated. This was all during COVID, if you remember that horrible speed in her life. She didn't leave the 5th floor for months at a time. And there was no going downstairs. So when we finally got released to be able just to go downstairs to the cafeteria, it was like a Christmas morning. And so we spent Christmas there. We spent Valentine's there. She missed her brother's wedding. But Child Life came in, dressed her up. We brought the whole wedding party to the hospital, And we've got really good wedding pictures. And if you look really close, you can see IV lines sneaking out in the back. And we learned you can slide down slides at the hospital, didn't we, with an IV pole. And so we learned a lot of stuff. But it's the child life that your donations go to really make a difference in the overall care, not just the actual heart part of it.
982 babies admitted to the Level 4 NICU last year. Support them. Call the International Diamond Center donation line at 800-270-8642 to donate right now. Generously supported by Clean Earth Systems.
Well, the first and foremost is that the institute is called the Huff Family Institute for Brain Protection Sciences because the Huff family were donors or are donors and give money and help provide some of the funding for the research that we do and the care that we provide. But we can't do it alone. And anybody who's listening to this who thinks in their heart that they may have some money or a couple dollars to donate, please know that that's going to be a change for a child's life. And that having a radiothon like this, being able to get out the message of the care that we provide here at All Children's is really important to me, and it's really important to the children we care for.
So for philanthropy and donors, every bit of funding support and assistance you can provide to help us buy new equipment, new mats, new gym equipment, because we go through it rather quickly. It's used, but even the example I was giving earlier, our driving simulator, that's being funded by a donor. So something along those lines that we probably wouldn't have had the thought process to do necessarily without that donor funding got to make this an actual happening and not just a vision. And so now we're going to be able to impact these teenagers and relieve some of that burden for them as they're learning to drive. So that's a great example of something that donor funding helps us with. When you make a pledge today, you become part of that Johns Hopkins All Children's family. And that is becoming a dream builder for a child at one of the most frightening moments of their life, or a parent who is scared and exhausted and searching for hope. You're making that hope possible. Your generosity supports life-saving care, both today, and it's fueling the research that leads to tomorrow's cures, the breakthroughs that give families answers when none seem possible. Your gift helps fund innovative treatments, clinical trials, and discoveries that improve outcomes, not just for one child, but for all children everywhere. You may never meet the child whose life you are getting ready to help change, but your kindness will be felt in every step forward, every milestone reached, every future made brighter, because research moved medicine forward. So the community has always shown up for our children, for Johns Hopkins All Children's, and today, right now, you have the opportunity to turn compassion into discovery, hope into healing, and generosity into a lasting legacy.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio, sponsored by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
We're commercial free and all in for the kids. Powered by Clean Earth Systems. Now back to Drew Garabo Live.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
Well, I got a new best friend, and her name is Marla. Maurice and I just went out in the hallway, and Marla was talking to a volunteer, and I spent a couple of minutes in conversation with her just about keeping a positive attitude in the face of adversity. It's hard not to loathe people who live easy, comfortable existence and still go out of their way to be negative and miserable.
It's not hard not to know them. I kind of find it very easy, Drew. I don't know what you're doing.
I try to find a place of empathy of like, what's that person going through in their life that makes them so unhappy? But then I'm like, you know what? There are just miserable people in this world who will never be happy no matter what they get or achieve or become or whatever. And you know what? That's fine. The world needs the Marlas of the world, and the world needs those people. His name is Maurice. My name is Drew Garabo. We are at the All In for All Children Radiothon right here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Donations continue to pour in during the 6 o'clock hour. I just found out from Jason Meter, so many of you continuing to donate. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that. We've never done anything like this as a radio station before. We've certainly encouraged people to come out to our food drives, our toy drives, etc., but we've never all gathered as one under the same roof and asked you for money. And that's what we're doing today. There's no two ways about it. But we're not asking for money so that we can drive a fancy car or have nice things. We are asking you for money so that Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital can continue to provide the level of elite care and compassion that they do. And you guys have made such a difference today, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
This is already my favorite event that we've done at the Bone.
I gotta say, yeah, same. Like I love Drew Saves Christmas. Don't get me wrong. I will always love it. I will do it as long as they keep allowing me to do it. To get toys for needy kids at the holidays is awesome. The Down syndrome community means the world to me, and doing Down to Bowl is great. But to know that kids like Marla are going to be able to get physical therapy, to know that nurses like Abby and Holly are going to be able to continue to provide care, music therapy, physical therapy, etc. This is what it's all about right here.
And I was excluding the singular events. I was more talking about the umbrella of every, the whole station.
Oh, yeah.
Together. Nothing's compared to what this is.
No, this has been phenomenal. Plus, we got to see Anthony Minotti, which dude,
anytime you get to see Minotti,
what a friggin' impactful day. That music loving stud.
Look at this kid.
Yeah, that kid. If you've never talked to him about music before, Maurice, you need to have him on the Mo Rock show sometime, because I will tell you, that kid knows his music and he's not afraid to travel for good music. One of the many things I love about Anthony Minotti. Donate by texting all in ALLIN to 34984. Where does your donation go? I'm so glad you asked. Things like play-based therapy supplies, pizza and movie nights, cancer and blood disorders care, all kinds of things are underneath the Johns Hopkins All Children's umbrella, and we will continue to broadcast throughout the night. I know that the Myco radio show with Corey Cardinal will be over at the Moxie Hotel as soon as we're done here from 7 to 10, and then tomorrow morning.
Let's say 7 to midnight.
Yeah,
They're going to do the right thing, Drew.
Yeah, they will do the right thing. No pressure, guys, but don't give up at 10. Go all the way until midnight, and then tomorrow, of course, the morning show will be here, and I believe Johnny B will be extending it up until noon.
Till noon, correct.
So that we can do a 24-hour radiothon, and then Maurice and I will be in studio tomorrow. I got to say, like, a normal show is going to feel so weird after this, because this is just like so meaningful and emotional. I don't know why. I always need to feel like I know you and I differ in this area. I always need to feel like I've prepared a radio program. I know you don't jibe with my system. So I did. I typed out like 8 ideas to myself,
right,
and didn't use a single one of them. I didn't have to.
Go. Welcome to my world. Not using prep. Feels good, doesn't it, Drew?
No.
Yes,
it feels terrible. I even had an okay or not okay about whether or not it was okay to warm up fish in the break room here at Johns Hopkins. Well, it's funny because here at the hospital. And as soon as it was out of my mouth, Jason Meter turned to me and he said, "It is not okay." I'm like, "But I want to eat healthy. I can't warm up my fish here," and he wasn't down with that.
No.
If you'd like to call us during the 6 o'clock hour, we've done a fantastic job of staying phone call free, other than the dude from Triumph and my buddy Donnie. But if you'd like to throw us a shout, you may. 800-771-1025 is the number. Definitely thank you to Holly, to Marla, and to Dr. Jim Thompson, probably the coolest pediatric cardiologist on the planet.
Somebody you never want to have to meet professionally.
That's it. That's exactly it. And that's the irony of a lot of these doctors is you don't want to see these dudes.
No,
you
as cool as they are.
Never want to see them.
As nice as they are.
But when you do have to get some work done, or your kid does, to have someone there who's cool, down to earth, and relatable is pretty neat. My oncologist, when I was at Moffitt the first time, Dr. Nishihori was like the coolest dude. Japanese guy, long hair.
Good move.
Oh yeah, dude. I specifically requested not just an Asian man, but a Japanese man, and like we got along so great. And I asked him right before my last scan, when I knew it was going to either be, hey, guess what, the high-dose chemotherapy didn't work and you're going to die, or it worked and you might not die yet. Before he gave me the news, I asked him, I said, Dr. Nishiori, let me just ask you before you tell me, how do you cope with this? Like when you're about to give someone a life-changing diagnosis, how do you process that? Is it emotional for you? Like, does it, I know you do it every day, but like, do you have to take a minute to think about like how to deliver that news and how it's going to land?
Right.
And I'll never forget this. He looked at me and he goes, well, first of all, this isn't going to be one of those appointments. And I was like, and then he's like, what's that? Oh, cool. And then he told me, yeah, I get emotional. You know, there's a lot of burnout and turnover in the oncology field because it's emotionally grueling. These doctors and nurses, I'm sure JT, our good new buddy, I'm sure he has days where he goes home and he's like, I lost a 7-month-old today. There was nothing I could do.
Right. We try and not talk about it now, but obviously there are times when
you can't do anything.
Can't do anything about it.
Oh, that feeling of being a doctor. All right, let's take our first civilian phone call at 800-771-1025. Good afternoon. Welcome to All In for All Children. 1025 The Bones, Maurice and Drew Garabo. Hi there.
Hey, Drew.
Hi.
This is Sean from Tampa. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Johns Hopkins because my daughter was there 3 years ago. She had to have a heart ablation done, and she fell in love with the entire staff, and they fell in love with her. They are just amazing people.
I love hearing that story, my man. How old was she when she was here?
She was 5.
So for a 5-year-old full of innocence and wonder, full of life, to have to go into a facility where you got to get a heart ablation, which is no picnic for anybody, let alone a 5-year-old girl. Can you kind of talk to us about the people, the professionals that you met here at Johns Hopkins All Children when you were here with your 5-year-old?
They made her and us feel like we were at home. They made her comfortable, made us comfortable. They were very professional, but in a way that made you feel like they were your friends and family.
That is so important because there's such a clinical feel sometimes to the medical field. If you get a doctor or a nurse who is bereft of compassion and has a very stern, matter-of-fact bedside manner, it doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy. You don't necessarily feel like they're fighting alongside your kid, and that's what I love so much about the people here at Johns Hopkins is you do get the feeling that they are allies with you in the fight, that they have a personal investment in making sure your kid gets better and that your kid is taken care of while you're here, right?
And his name is we are talking with what's your name again, Carl?
Sean.
It's Sean, Mo. Duh. God.
Sean. And prior to your daughter having to utilize the facility, everything seemed okay, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
And this is the point I want to make, because I used to think about this because you'd see when they would do commercials, our daughter or our son or our baby, and we flew down to Johns Hopkins, and you hear stories about people having to come from other places to come here, and I was like, that's really cool that we've got this place here in Florida, Tampa specifically, and this is what you have to understand when we're talking about, hey, give some money here. You may not have children right now. Your children may be fine right now, but you have the luxury of having one of the top pediatric facilities in the country, and you need to really appreciate that. And by appreciating that, that means donating when they need, because, again, as you pointed out, Drew, as a lot of people know, they will not turn you away if you cannot pay. Yep. And if you're thinking about having children and raising them in the Bay Area, then this is a safe bet. This is the safest bet you can make.
Yep. Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate you sharing that with us, buddy.
And I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Yeah, and to your point, Maurice, anytime you see a news story about a little kid who was in a car accident or a little kid who got attacked by a pit bull or something like that, 9 times out of 10, they come here to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, where, it doesn't matter what your income level is, you will not be turned away. I mean, it's in writing right here. No child ever turned away regardless of their ability to pay. So if you can get into your Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, or even a credit card, text all in, ALLIN, to 34984. And if you can donate $100, $1 for every year that Johns Hopkins All Children's
century, Drew.
I mean, that's a great way to celebrate their centennial. They started as a polio facility back when polio was a thing.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
Well, thanks to Jonas Salk, they did.
Now we got to give the credit to Johns Hopkins. Who's this Jonas cat you're talking about?
I was unaware. They cured polio. We've learned a lot at this broadcast today. But really, so proud to be a part of this organization from Cox Media Group Tampa, for a radio station and a group of radio stations to go without commercials for a day.
Right.
That is enormous. And this is why I am so passionate about radio, both listening to and working in this field, because local radio has the potential and I believe the responsibility to do things like we did today. Yes. And, some people, it takes them a bit to get their head around it. It can be a bit, I don't know, unfamiliar if you're used to doing a certain kind of radio. But if you can't at least grasp the importance of doing something like this today, you might be in this for the wrong reason. This is making a difference in our community.
Right.
And that's what we're here to do. If there's no community to support us, we don't exist anymore. We give way to podcasts. We give way to satellite radio, et cetera.
Because they can't do this.
They can't. And we need to stand out. And things like this help local radio stand out. And that's why I'd love for you to help our initiative here today by texting all in, ALLIN, to 34984, or donate by calling the International Diamond Center phone line at 800-270-8642. This is going to be one of those broadcasts where on the way home I am just emotionally numb. Like you expend all of this emotion. I'll be honest with you, thinking about Xander's health issues when he was 7 months old, I think about it a couple of times a year.
Right.
I'm very blessed in that I'm able to not think about it now because there were no permanent side effects, that he is now a healthy, almost 23-year-old young man. But when you talk about stuff like this, it takes you right back to those moments.
I can't imagine how it wouldn't.
Dude, I think about being in that little hospital room, about how Angie crawled into the crib to sleep with Xander. Like they had a big crib in the room, and Xan was 7 months old and needed comfort and was tossing and turning. And she got in the crib and slept with him that night, and we'd sleep on chairs, and my parents came, and it was just, that's every day here. That's thousands of patients here. I was very blessed to get a good diagnosis. Not so many are that fortunate. And
I would say this, listen, I'm a father 4 times over, and I know the bond of a father and their child, but I would have to imagine that for a mother that carried the child for 9 months and then 7 months in, you're faced with something like that has to be exponentially more overwhelming.
No question. And thank you for pointing that out, because you're absolutely right. Like, there is something that happens to a mother when she incubates the child. There is a bond that is built up there. And then, postpartum depression is a real thing. And it's very difficult for parents like us to understand when a mother suffers so severely from that she does something heinous. But, and this is not to excuse anything like that, something hormonally changes in you when that life leaves your body. And not every woman is equipped to cope with those consequences. Not every woman has the wherewithal to go, oh, this is happening because that baby is no longer in me and is outside of me.
Right.
And
if you don't know what's happening, you can't know why it's happening.
Dude, exactly. And again, not to excuse anything that happens that we read about in the news all too frequently, but I think we as men and we as people need to show a lot more understanding and compassion to mothers who have a difficult time dealing with separation anxiety once they shoot that baby right out of there. I used to make jokes. It was so easy to make the jokes that women become like 20% crazier every time they shoot a baby out of there, which is still true. But it is important to remember that's a very difficult situation for both baby, mother, and more importantly, father. 800-771-1025 if you'd like to reach us before we get out of here and make way for Mike O. and Corey C. Thank you again to my buddy Donnie. He just texted me and said thank you for everything with the Purple Heart. That's Baylor's thing.
Yeah,
Love you, brother. That guy is a pillar of strength. And dude, if you were to meet him, like I have buddies, Frank, who I work with, has golfed with Donnie a couple of times. I have other buddies who've golfed with him, and I don't tell them the story. Like Frank's a father, and I purposely didn't tell him Donnie's story because I knew they would talk about it.
Right.
And you meet him, and he's this beautifully happy dude. You get the experience that he's a soulful guy and doesn't have a care in the world. And then when you hear the story, at first you're just like, how in the world do you go on? And then you go, man, if you can not only survive, but exist to help other people and display this beautiful spirit of compassion. Jesus, man, what are any of us getting worked up over?
You're right, 100%.
What is Scotty doing here so late? I just looked over there and saw him over there with Alexia over at Magic.
Come on now,
I wish there were a way we could go live on live and battle those two in something fun. I don't know what it would be, Maurice.
Right.
But that's his new morning show partner.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, cool.
He's carving out the brand, Drew.
Dude, I will tell you, I love that dude. He is Scotty the Body is this positive, inspirational, solid citizen, always has a kind word for everybody, never has a bad. You never see him in a bad mood.
No, you're right.
He might be in a bad mood, and you ever even noted that the dude could have just stubbed his toe and ran over a puppy, and he still walks in and he's just like, "Hey, I wish I could be like that."
I heard he's quite a proficient rapper too, Drew. Maybe a rap battle is what you.
Listen, let's not get crazy. I mean,
I've heard tales, Drew.
You've heard wrong. He and Paxton start every sales meeting with a rap.
And what was the air quotes?
You know what those air quotes were for. I'm anti-white rapper, present company excluded, and Marshall Mathers excluded, and Mac Miller and BC Boys excluded. 800-771-1025. Eric has done a great job helming this broadcast all day, and we appreciate you, Eric. Thank you, man.
Fellas.
You're a vital part of this, man. We couldn't do it without you. In fact, we can't do it without you because there's no live broadcast tonight.
I did want to ask you, is there a timetable for when Bay It Forward is fully up and running?
Great question. So
where are we at with
Thank you for asking. Our website has been so dangerously close to launching. I hoped to have it by today. It is literally we are within, I would say, a few days of launching bayitforward.org, and then you'll see a donate site on there. Parents can sign up on there, and we'll bring iPads to hospitals. So thank you very much for asking. It's an initiative that Donnie inspired in me. We did that toy drive with Achieva Credit Union back in September for Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and Achieva gave us a great donation to get us started. So we have the tablets, we've got the website. We just need parents who have kids going through chemo to sign up.
What's the launch going to look like? Like, how are you going to get that information out to where parents can go, oh, I want to do that?
Great question. So my goal today was to make a couple of connections, and I've done so. So I have a couple of people here who are administrators who are going to help out, and awareness is everything. Because what they did with Apple a Day is when you'd have someone in the pediatric oncology department, you just, if your kid would like a distraction and an iPad, we can get them a free iPad from, Apple a Day. That's exactly what we hope to do here. So these people have just been wonderful from an administrative perspective, from a doctor perspective. Everything.
I couldn't imagine they wouldn't want to be a part of it, and certainly wouldn't want to help you out.
Yeah, it was insane to me that the Apple Corporation wanted nothing. Not only did they want nothing to do with Apple a Day, but they basically said you have to stop using the name Apple a Day because you're not associated with us. Oh yeah, it was I mean, I still have my iPhone. I still have my MacBook, but
Wait a minute.
I know.
Apple's existed before Apple. An apple a day keeps a doctor away.
Well,
they can't use that.
I think their issue was we were giving out iPads, and they gave the appearance of being.
That's trademark infringement, Drew.
It is. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Heard that from their attorneys as well.
Wow.
So, and plus Jade went to go work for Apple, and so that program went belly up. And, Dan Colley's been working his ass off today, too. I mean,
yes, he has.
Getting us guest after guest, helping us tell story after story. We appreciate you, DC.
He loves hanging in the shadows.
Oh, dude, he's the greatest, man.
Yes, he is.
I will tell you, I've seen a side of Dan that few get to see. Going to Dublin with him twice in a row. It's funny too because the first year we went, very few people went harder than Dan and Gio. Gio, I think, lost his wedding ring that trip. Like
lost
threw
it or threw or
I'm not here. I'm not here to tell any stories, but and then I think Dan lost his glasses.
Good Lord.
It was a mess. And then the next year, I returned and Danielle returned. So did Dan. Dan stopped drinking, so he was
okay.
Rush went with us, and he doesn't drink. Danielle was pregnant, and nobody knew about it, so she couldn't drink. So every damn Jameson function
was you and Gio?
No, Gio didn't go that year, so it was just me. So like every Jameson function, they're pouring Jameson for everybody, and they're like, "Here you go," and I'm just like,
"Oh man!"
Oh, it was a mess. They shut down the global broadcast after that.
Real talk. What's Dan's position? I've known him for 12 years. I couldn't tell you what he does.
I believe at this point his official title is events coordinator.
Okay.
I think.
I always wanted to put him in with engineering, but I know he's not part of that.
No, he's not. He's got he does have the engineer's disposition.
Yeah, and belly.
Yeah, but oh, good times. We are almost ready to wrap up here. So you got 10 minutes left to get us to get credit for your donations. I know. What a day. All in, ALLIN to 34984. I want to thank each and every one of you who's donated. I'll read again the list of bone donators. Hey, John Brennan, do we have an updated list of bone donors by any chance that I can read off? Yeah, we do? Thank you. Jason Meter's getting that for me. Thank you, gentlemen. I like to ask the bosses to help me out. Thank you. He's really good at delegating.
I know.
They say the poop rolls downhill, but John actually just kicked that poop right uphill.
Seeing the new Brennan. Come on, Meter. We're on the clock here.
Thanks to Penny from Palmetto, Julie from, again, I can't read, Mendon. I have no idea.
That has to be Mendon.
Mendon, Louisiana?
Yeah.
Julie from Jeff G. from Sarasota, Shelly K. from Riverview, Libby from Wesley Chapel, Britt from Seminole. That quite possibly could be Britt so much.
I bet you it is.
And Jennifer from Venice or Venice, Florida. If you would like to donate, once again, 800-270-8642.
And if you're in your car, by the way, again, Michael coming on right after us. Yep. Mike and Corey Cardinal.
Till midnight.
They're going to be till midnight. So don't think, okay, they're going off. This is 24 hours. Yeah. This doesn't end until noon tomorrow.
That is correct. So, Michael and Corey C might make noise about not being on till midnight, but they're just funding you.
Yeah,
they're going to be here till midnight. Don't you worry.
What else are they going to do?
Exactly.
They'll be broadcasting from a hotel bar.
I mean, yeah, you'll have to kick them off the air at 2 a.m. for crying out loud.
We're doing the wet work right here.
And by the way, that number I gave was the International Diamond Center phone line. My favorite thing of the day, other than the impactful stories and whatnot, was John Senning giving the phone number and then reading mention IDC every time you mention phone number because it was written on there. Oh, yeah. I love the guy.
How long has he been in radio?
Yeah, you put something on a piece of paper in front of a radio person, they are going to read what is on that piece of paper, even if it says make sure you don't mention. Also, just to self-gloss real quick, Lauren, who we talked to, who is a respiratory therapist,
yes.
Did you see her last name?
No.
I'm very proud of myself.
Oh, wow. Come on, man.
I am very proud of myself.
Let that slide.
I am incredibly proud of myself.
It's not the place.
It was almost like a test from God herself saying, can Garabo avoid
man.
using Lauren's last name,
That is
which would lead to the ultimate D's Nuts joke setup. And don't think it wasn't on my mind, but I like to read the room every once in a while, and I did indeed read her, and I don't think she would have approved. She probably gets that all the time.
Yeah, well, no, because not everybody is as
Come on,
infantile
Maurice,
as you.
please. Infantile, schminfantile. John, what's up with your people? Why can't your people work faster? Don't your people respect you? Man.
Wow.
God, man. I used to have so much respect for Brennan until I said, oh, thank you. Thanks. Now that we're off the air. Thank you very much to Shay from Why, Mama? Why? Lenny from Tampa. Joe from Lutz. Ron from Winter Haven. Alicia from Clearwater. Lonnie from Seminole. Tracy from Valrico Suave. Julie from Largo. Tommy from Lutz. And John from Venice. Remarkable penmanship by Jason Meter. And thank you all for your donations. Yes, what a huge, huge difference you have helped us make today, and you will continue to help us make that difference all throughout the night. And then tomorrow, right up until noon, you can donate and donate and donate. During the overnight hours, you'll even maybe hear some of these broadcasts. Please give as much as you can. Our goal is to make an enormous impact on our community. You can even get a monthly donation. They're looking for some miracle makers. We've got 18 of those miracle makers, by the way. We were looking for 22. We're looking for 4 more miracle makers. That's all. 4 more miracle makers to give $15 a month. Text all in, ALLIN, to 348-984. 22 miracle makers this hour, or one-time donations before 7 p.m. So let's close this bad boy on out. Every dollar you give goes to research, equipment, programs, and care. Every dollar stays local, and no kid will be turned away from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital regardless of their ability to pay. What a meaningful and impactful day we have had today. And, good, 10 minutes left. Exactly. That was 1 minute ago, so we've got... now 9
within
minutes.
the 9 minutes, and we got Brennan right there. Do you know the impetus for this particular thing?
That's a great question.
John,
John, if you wouldn't mind, how did
this come about?
Yeah, how did this idea come to fruition? Like who sat around and said?
John's assistant.
I was gonna say my name fetcher.
Here, Jason, please talk to us about about how this went from an idea one had to blossoming into what it is right now.
I can easily tell you. So last spring, I went to one of our accounts, Budweiser, actually.
Yeah.
Great
Chris
distributors.
Lewis.
Yep.
Love him.
Chris Lewis, great partner. And Matt Sokolowski, whose family owns the distributorship.
Oh, yeah.
We went there for Billy Carmen's retirement party.
Yeah.
Billy C. Everybody knows Billy C., right?
Yep.
And the words came out of his mouth. He said, "Hey, we're looking for I'm on the board at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, the foundation, and we're looking for a partner to do a rate." But before he could say anything, I said, "We're in.
Right.
We are absolutely in."
Yeah.
And I committed to us. I committed to it right then, knowing full well that everybody would say yes and be behind it. And
of course.
What's happened here today is clear that we made the right decision. So the team has just done an unbelievable job to get us to this point. The team at All Children's is amazing. I mean, what these people do on a daily basis. You hear from these doctors and how they deal with some of these situations. I mean, it is just gut-wrenching. I spent a week here as a kid. I had meningitis.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yep. My son spent a week here. He had a rare kidney disease. Spent a week here, and so I think if you're from this area, and unfortunately, so many of us have had to come to this hospital for a lot of reasons. John's daughter was born here, and spent 2 weeks here. If you've been impacted by this hospital, it's hard for it not to have a place in your heart that is very special.
We were trying to make that. We made that point that to have this in our community, and if you don't have kids, if you're thinking about it and you're going to be raising them in this community, you want to protect and preserve this organization.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So Gary Sheffield was here earlier. You saw him. So cool. And he was telling a story, a very personal story. And I said, it's interesting because nobody wants to have to come here. Right. But when you do, and you need it, you are so glad they're here.
That was my story, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why, for me, it's easy. You know, obviously, I'm going to do what he tells me to do anyway. But
When will that start? When do you think that's going to
Right.
start? Yeah.
But
have you given today? By the way, I haven't seen your name.
No,
come on.
I'm
Yeah.
giving tomorrow.
Oh,
and
okay.
it'll be
Yeah.
substantial.
What's the number, Drew? What's the number they should text?
Oh,
right now?
thank you for asking, Jason. That is texting all in to 8434984. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So to his point, we had Charlotte here, and we had moved up to Clearwater, and we were going to have nothing wrong with the hospital up there, but they were renovating their hospital at the time, and they were like potentially sharing a room or something. My wife was like, "No, I don't want to do this." So we ended up coming back here. Well, this is hooked to the NICU and all children's, and Charlotte had a very rare. She was born 8 pounds, not preemie, like on time and everything, but wasn't breathing. And so she had a pulmonary hypertension thing. It was really rare, and they had to give her nitrogen or So like they had her hooked up. She was on a ventilator, everything. And one of the doctors said, and I ended up reading it because I was Googling, but it was like if she had to be transported from another hospital here via chopper, it would have complicated things. And that's how most people lose a child with what she has is in transit. So we were, a wreck, and it was the worst 2 weeks of my life. But the fact that now looking back on it, we have this memory of lucking out. Like it was really lucky that we were here. And then obviously, I think everybody knows Charlotte buys her Girl Scout cookies.
I did.
Now, and,
She hit me up for $6 this week.
She's doing great.
$6. I'm 6 boxes deep.
Yes.
All right.
Oh yeah. Mo definitely contributed.
Oh,
I brought him a.
Wow.
I haven't seen Mo's name on the donation list here. So you
No.
gave $36
Yeah, it all
to
went to
Charlotte
interesting.
Brennan.
Charlotte
He-
cookies.
Cares about Girl
buying,
Scouts.
buying sugar. Yeah, great.
Well, Mo and food.
It's funny, Jason, that you said nobody looks forward to coming here. We saw living proof of the opposite of that, which was Marla, the young lady with cerebral palsy, who makes friends here and cannot wait to come to her physical therapy.
I think it's a great point. So if you've got something, this isn't a place that you wake up and go, I don't want to go. What I'm saying is that most of us, that once you get on the healthy side, and you and I both know this from firsthand, you hope you never need it.
Boom.
But when you do, and it's here, and that's the thing. You see these giant buildings, right? And it looks like all this money that's coming in, but you don't understand that the foundation and what we're raising money for is going to help the experience that these kids live. Yeah. And the reality is not all of them do live. And we have to think about that and the experiences that the hospital gives them before that happens. But their family, the kids, their siblings that are involved. And then the fortunate ones who do live and go on to live a great life, this hospital created such a memory for them that it doesn't feel like a bad place.
Dude, look at the lives we got to talk to today from Abby and Holly. Abby was a preemie, and her nurse was Holly.
Yeah.
Abby is now 22 years old, and she is a nurse and working with Holly. My buddy Donnie, who we had on the phone, his daughter Baylor was here, and he talked about quality of life versus quantity of life. She was going to go anyway.
Having to make that choice.
But he had to make the choice of, do I want to try to extend her life just for the purpose of doing it, or do I want to help her enjoy? These people have to make decisions like that every day, and they do it with this dignity and compassion that is overwhelming.
When we did the tour, you guys got to talk to Shantae today, I believe, right? The job that woman has, and then she showed us the books that they create for memories of these kids.
Yeah. Legacy.
There were 20 of us in the room and not a dry eye in the room after she got done talking. And to think that that's what that woman does every single day.
Yep.
And what she gleans from that is amazing.
Yep.
Right?
Wow.
But that's her job.
Yep.
And she loves it, and she comes here to do it because she loves it, and she changes the lives of not only the people that are here, but the families and the legacy that those kids leave for their family, and that's pretty amazing.
It is, and thank you guys for doing this. I mean, thanks for including us, and this was the most emotionally impactful air shift I think we've done ever in the building, and you guys helped create all of this, all of these radio stations, and I'm proud to work for an organization like this. Thank you.
Well, we're
Glad
very
to have you.
we're very
Of course.
very blessed that you guys are all on and all in, and we'll continue this tomorrow through noon.
Heck yeah.
and raise a ton of money. So thank you guys both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job today.
Thank you. And stick around for Mike O and Corey C. They'll be live at the Moxie. We told them they're going to midnight. They don't know it yet, but they are going to midnight. So go by the Moxie Hotel, and if you see those guys packing up at 10 p.m., you tell them, no. You got 2 more hours.
2 more hours.
Eric, thank you so much, buddy. You did a great job for us. Thank you, Maurice, for being part of this.
Absolutely, 100.
And thanks to Jenna for her help in setting all of this up, and to John and Jason. And what a day. What a day. We really made an impact today. To each and every one of you who donated, to each and every one of you who will think about donating, we appreciate it beyond what we could describe to you. Stick around, because Mike O and Corey C are coming at you live from the Moxie Hotel right near this beautiful facility in St. Petersburg. Maurice and I will be back in studio tomorrow at 4 p.m. I'll do John's Joints at 3. Thank you to Dylan for setting everything up and making it work. Thanks to all our engineers. Thanks to all of our promo staff. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow as we go all in for all children. Real quick before we go, 34984. Text the word all in or call 800-270-8642. You can be a miracle maker by donating $15 a month. That's just 50 cents a day, or your one-time donation. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks for letting us do this. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Drew Garabo live on 102.5 The Bone. We're commercial-free and all in for the kids. Powered by Clean Earth Systems. We are Real Raw Radio. 102.5 The Bone. Radiothon is happening right now. Text keyword all in to 34984 and help kids at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Generously supported by Clean Earth Systems.
Ultrasound, and she was diagnosed with a giant omphalocele, is an abdominal wall defect. She was ultimately born with her liver, stomach, small intestines, and spleen outside of her body in a sac. The doctor that diagnosed it didn't think that she was viable, wanted me to terminate, and I actually got termination recommendations by a lot of doctors. But obviously, I knew it wasn't my choice whether she lived or died. It was up to her and him and who he works through. So we ran with it and kept working until we found someone who was willing to help us, and that was Johns Hopkins All Children's. We checked with hospitals all around the area, north and south along the East Coast, and she was born 6 weeks early with lifeless, and went into her first surgery at less than an hour old, and ultimately spent 10 months in the NICU, 5 weeks of that in a coma, and came home on full life support and lived on full life support for 3.5 years, trached, ventilated, feeding tubes, the whole 9 yards. And has had 25 surgeries to date. She has been in and out of the hospital so many times that I've lost count. The estimated cost for her care when she left the NICU was just over $4 million. She wouldn't be here if it weren't for what they do. And the money that's raised help people like us, help families like us. It helped to provide for her specialty care. It allowed me to leave my job so that I could be with my child, because for 3 months I commuted back and forth from Tallahassee down here every weekend, sometimes 2-3 times a week, depending on her status.
but Johns Hopkins stepped in and paid for our insurance for a few years for Cobra at, I believe it was about $1,500 a month, so that I could be present for her care. And that alone was just, it was priceless to be able to be here with her and then to get her the care that she needs and to make sure that she had everything she needed. And it's all about the education and awareness and providing support for the families, and most specifically, educating the doctors to care for these amazing kids and to give the kids the care that they need.
982 babies admitted to the Level 4 NICU last year. Support them. Call the International Diamond Center donation line at 800-270-8642 to donate right now. Generously supported by Clean Earth Systems.
Well, the first and foremost is that the institute is called the Huff Family Institute for Brain Protection Sciences because the Huff family were donors or are donors and give money and help provide some of the funding for the research that we do and the care that we provide. But we can't do it alone. And anybody who's listening to this who thinks in their heart that they may have some money or a couple dollars to donate, please know that that's going to be a change for a child's life. And that having a radiothon like this, being able to get out the message of the care that we provide here at All Children's is really important to me, and it's really important to the children we care for.
We could not have gotten to where we are today without philanthropy. And yes, there are grants we apply for and things we apply for, but the sustainability of what we're doing, philanthropy is the key. It's the engine that works. It's why we're able to continue to take care of the families. And some of the cancers and things that develop are after treatment, and we need to be able to follow those patients. There's monies for long-term things. These grants are like short-term things, but people's lives keep going on, and we need to keep monitoring and keep doing things. So there's just a lot of ways that philanthropy makes it possible to sustain the treatments and the cures.
Donations to a children's hospital represent an investment in the future, because what we do for a kid today pays a dividend over the next 70, 80, 90 years of that child's life. And I don't know whether the next kid that I operate on may go on to be President of the United States, may be a great scientific leader, may start a business that changes the world. So you just don't know, but that's the exciting part of working with kids, is that we help them, and then we set them on their path, and we just wait to see what they do with their lives.
Every dollar has a purpose and a child behind it. Text keyword all in to 34984 and help kids at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital.